Chapter 11:12. King Kun felt wronged. There was no use in feeling wronged. Heavenly King Jin was trying to take advantage of him whenever he had the chance. It was fortunate that the true gods and sect protectors had left. Otherwise, Heavenly King Jin would have attacked again. King Kun didn't want to bother with Heavenly King Jin. He said with a dark expression, "Everyone, this array formation has been broken for a few days. It's not good for either of us if this drags on. It's time for everyone to do their best to break the array formation." Then, King Kun looked at Li Zhu and said coldly, "Palm Seal Envoy, it's time for you to do your best. Tian Kue, Unquestionable Jian, Tian Ji, Tian Ming. Isn't it time for all of you to do your best?" They were all heavenly kings. Even the two heavenly kings could fight a heavenly king if they joined forces. These two were only one step away from the heavenly king realm. However, these people didn't use their full strength. They were all hiding it, especially Li Zhu and Demon Monarch. They didn't move at all. At this moment, King Kun didn't want to talk about himself anymore. It was time to turn his attention to these people. Li Zhu sighed. "I already said that I'm not the Palm Seal Envoy." Everyone pretended not to hear him. Just like how Heavenly King Jin denied that he wasn't King Jin's brother, they just listened. On the other side, King Jin also said calmly, "If you don't do your best, then leave first. It's not that easy to stay here and reap the benefits." These people didn't do their best, but didn't leave either. This was very annoying. Seeing that the array formation was almost broken and it was time to see the results, these people weren't stupid. They wouldn't agree to let them take advantage of the array formation. The people who were mentioned looked at each other, smiled, and stepped into the air. Unquestionable Jian said calmly, "After so many days, if the array formation is broken and there's nothing inside, it'll be a waste of energy." Hearing this, Heavenly King Jin laughed. "Let's try. It's fine if there's nothing inside. I'm just afraid that Spirit Emperor will come out himself. That's scary. Other than Moon Spirit, everyone else will be in trouble." Hearing this, everyone's expression turned ugly. Jinx, how could Spirit Emperor come out? If Spirit Emperor really came out, everyone would be scared to death. Men are so dangerous. It was one thing for them to run all the way to Sovereign Qinling's Bottomanda, but to enter Sovereign Qinling's sleeping quarters, break her formation, and even dig out her bathtub. If Emperor Ling really didn't die, just wait and see. Those who were lucky managed to escape with their injuries. Those who were unlucky could only wait for death. As soon as these words came out, even the celestial pole shivered. Spiritual emperors were very domineering. His father had been reluctant to come to Emperor Ling's palace. As for himself, he had visited a few times with his father when he was young. Now that he had grown up, his father didn't want to bring him along anymore, and he didn't want to go either. Every time he heard a rumor, a certain powerhouse would pass by the spiritual emperor's Bottomanda, and the spiritual emperor would go up and beat him up without any hesitation. He would beat him until half of his body was paralyzed. The area around the spirit emperor's Bottomanda was so scared that there were almost no demon beasts left. After scaring them for a while, Heavenly King Jin Wang smiled and said, "Don't be afraid. Hong Kun is strong. He might be able to break through 8 or even 9. If we really meet him, let Hong Kun go up and fight with Spirit Emperor, and we'll go our own way." Li Xuanxie. King Kun's tone was cold. "That's enough. Do you really think that I don't dare to do anything to you?" Heavenly King Jin Wang smiled and said, "What's wrong? It's okay. Spirit Emperor is actually not bad. Under normal circumstances, he won't kill anyone. At most, he will beat you until you are paralyzed. Back then, that guy even peeped on you. It wasn't a big deal. Wasn't he punished to guard the longevity spring?" King Kun snorted. Of course, he knew who Heavenly King Jin Wang was talking about. He was living in their hall now. These people had not seen each other for many years. It was rare to meet old acquaintances. Although they were enemies, they were still emotional when they talked. Especially when they talked about these old acquaintances. Everyone sighed. King Qian continued and sighed. That guy should be dead, right? He was unlucky. The longevity spring was too close to the heavenly court. Back then, the area near the heavenly court suffered the most serious damage. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. He had some improper thoughts about Spirit Emperor. In my opinion, even if he didn't die, he would have to participate in the battle. All these years, there has been no news at all. I'm afraid he is really dead. That's hard to say. Heavenly King Zhen Wang smiled faintly. Ask Hong Kuan. He knows. I killed one of their venerable sovereigns a few years ago and actually obtained a few drops of the longevity spring. The longevity spring might be in his territory. As soon as he said this, everyone looked at Hong Kuan. Everyone had been hiding until now and more or less had their own territories. Most of them were fragments of the heavenly realm. No one was surprised that King Kuan had intercepted a fragment of the heavenly realm. However, if he had intercepted the territory near the longevity spring, it was worth paying attention to. King Kuan snorted and did not say much. He said faintly, he should be long dead. When I entered that place, there was no aura of him. He probably left. Dead, King Qian said sadly. It's a pity. Back then, Heavenly Hound caused trouble in the heavenly realm. Everyone was angry, but dared not say anything. Only this guy dared to provoke him. Heavenly Hound fought with him for more than 300 years. We were also at ease for more than 300 years. It could be considered a favor. Cough, cough, cough. Someone coughed. Why did this guy sound like he was gloating? Did he deliberately provoke Heavenly Hound? Heavenly Hound just wanted to find trouble with him. As he said this, King Qian asked curiously, how strong was this guy back then? I only know that he broke through the limit of a heavenly king. But he was still alive and kicking after being beaten up by Heavenly Hound for more than 300 years. Don't tell me he also broke through 7? It's not that easy, King Sun said faintly. Heavenly Hound did not kill him, so he should still be at 6. However, I'm afraid he does have the strength of a peak 6. Without this strength, he would not dare to covet Spirit Sovereign. On the other side, someone laughed and said, don't you know about this, Heavenly King Jin? The one who spoke was Li Zhu. Isn't the cat with you? It has been in the Spirit Sovereign Palace for so many years. It should know, right? The cat. Heavenly King Jin laughed and said, you can ask the cat. I have no interest in dealing with this cat. By the way, you hit its cat tree. I think it will find trouble with you sooner or later. If you don't find it now, it will also find trouble with you when it returns. Li Zhu laughed and said, what does this have to do with me? You can't blame me for the cat tree's disappearance, right? Keep pretending. Heavenly King Zhen said lazily, I know better than you. I also know where the cat tree is hiding. Don't tell me you don't know. I can't go to the catacombs. Of course. Only you can hide the cat tree. What an unexpected disaster. Li Zhu felt even more helpless. He sighed and said, where the cat tree is hiding has nothing to do with me. If you don't come to the earth realm, it has nothing to do with me. Then Li Zhu suddenly said, Heavenly King Zhen, are there still old fellows sleeping in the earth realm? I don't know. You don't know? Li Zhu said with a faint smile. Then don't tell me that you have been afraid of Tianji and Tianming all these years. Beside him, the two kings of Tianji and Tianji did not look too good. Li Zhu's tone displeased them. As they chatted, the demon emperor suddenly said, there should still be old fellows hiding in the catacombs. 1,000 years ago, I felt something was wrong, but it didn't feel like a living person. Heavenly King Zhen, the clone of the earthly sovereign, is still here, right? Hearing this, everyone's expressions changed again. The clone of the earthly sovereign was still here? More than 2,000 years ago, countless experts started a war and defeated the earthly emperor god dynasty. In that war, the clone of the earthly sovereign was also killed. After all, it was the clone of an emperor. Even if it wasn't a real emperor, it was still extremely powerful. In that war, there were more experts than those on the surface. Among the people present, King Kuan, King Jin, and another heavenly king participated in that war. That war wasn't what it seemed on the surface. Only some experts from the heavens beyond heavens and the overseas immortal islands died. The heavenly king who supported the heavens beyond heavens was killed by the clone of the earthly sovereign in that war. That was why only King Sun, who supported the overseas immortal islands, and King Jin, who supported the King Fate, participated in this war. The one behind the heavens beyond heavens had long been killed. If not, when the Demon Emperor made his move 1,000 years ago, many venerable sovereigns would have died in the war. Almost all the venerable sovereigns who died that time were from the heavens beyond heavens. I don't know about that, Heavenly King Jin said with a smile, when Hong Kuan is his father. But it's hard to say. I haven't gone to the depths of the catacombs all these years. On one hand, it's related to Li Zhu, and on the other hand, it's because Hong Kuan is deliberately restraining me. Back then, I was entrusted by my master to protect the human world for a few years. I didn't think it would take long, but as it dragged on, it has come to this. In the end, Hong Kuan still comes to harass me from time to time. I can't do anything about it. I've aged a lot these years. King Kuan wanted to curse. Can you not drag this prince into this matter for no reason? Who's restraining you? These years, he had been busy with a lot of things. Of course, he wanted to go to the human world to take a look, but it turned out that this old man was restraining him. As the heaven-suppressing Heavenly King spoke, he stopped talking about this. Instead, he asked curiously, Hong Kuan, who is the Pope in the human world? It's been so many years. I have to say that he's really good at hiding. I went back to take a look a few times and deliberately waited for him to show up. In the end, he could also tolerate it. When I was in the human world, I never showed up once. At this time, a peek can't change anything. Why not satisfy this old man's curiosity? Li Zhu also smiled faintly and said, this king is also quite interested. If King Kuan doesn't mind, how about saying it? King Kuan ignored them. You guys don't know? That's your problem. Why should this king tell you? These few days, I suffered a few losses. Now that you guys feel bad, I will feel better too. Heavenly King Jin said again. Unquestionable Jian, you don't know either? Demon Emperor said coolly. I haven't met him before. Then forget it. Oh right. Hong Kuan bullied your master's wife. Aren't you going to say anything? Unquestionable Jian really wanted to kill him with a sword. Go find King Kuan. What do you want me for? Heavenly King Jin only wished for the world to be in chaos. He looked at Moon Spirit and said with a smile, Moon Spirit, Unquestionable Jian really doesn't take you seriously. His master was killed by Hong Kuan, and you, the master's wife, was bullied by Hong Kuan. You didn't even say a word of justice. Moon Spirit's face was livid. She looked at Unquestionable Jian with an unfriendly gaze. Unquestionable Jian's expression did not change, but no one knew how he was cursing in his heart. He really did call her master's wife. He also fought in the North-South War back then. In that war 1,000 years ago, Moon Spirit also showed up. Otherwise, there might not only be emperors fighting back then. Usually, Moon Spirit did not care about these things. Now that she seemed to remember it, she looked at Unquestionable Jian with a look of dissatisfaction. Everyone else was speechless. Heavenly King Jun was a *T stirrer. He wanted these heavenly kings to fight right away. One moment he would provoke this, the next moment he would provoke that. King Kuan's expression became uglier and uglier. He said angrily, Li Xuanxia, do you really have to force me to fight you? I didn't mean that. Heavenly King Jin sighed and said, my strength is inferior, so I can only gather a few helpers to fight you together. Unfortunately, Master died in battle. My fellow sect members also died. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to do this. Heavenly King Jin was about to cry. How pitiful! Master died. Senior and junior brothers died. Wasn't there no one left? Otherwise, the Weapon Master lineage would also be extremely powerful. Everyone scoffed. Are you really Liu? Who would believe you? King Kuan could not be bothered to expose him. He said indifferently, fight me? Why don't you go find those beginner martial artists to fight me? Isn't that easier? What do beginner martial artists have to do with me? Ha! King Kuan sneered. King Jun is a beginner martial artist. Aren't you? I always felt that the reason the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors fought was related to beginner martial artists. All these years, I've been investigating the truth. Other things aside, wasn't the attack on Ash Cat the work of a beginner martial artist? They thought that by killing Ash Cat, they could cut off Myriad Dao. That's just wishful thinking. Ash Cat isn't that useful. Even if Ash Cat was killed, Myriad Dao wouldn't let it go. So you want to kill Ashcat now? Heavenly King Jin smiled and said, So, you're saying that you're the same as the beginner martial artists? There's no point in talking. How is it a glib tongue? Heavenly King Jin said playfully, A few years ago, I know that your people went to Kwokang Mountain. If you don't want to attack Ashcat, do you want to attack Anjuanzi? King Kun ignored him. At the side, Moon's spirit snorted, looking a little unhappy. Heavenly King Jun looked at her strangely. Moon's spirit's face was dark. She didn't look at him and didn't say anything this time. The others didn't think of anything at first. Soon, someone seemed to remember something. Suddenly, someone coughed a few times as if to hide his laughter. Heaven's pole was straightforward. He seemed to have thought of something and said casually, Moon's spirit, Ashcat and Tengu don't seem to have a good relationship with you. They were the ones who spread the rumor that Hong Yu lost to you in bed. Boom! Moon's spirit slashed out with her saber. You're courting death. I won't mention it anymore. This matter is over. Why are you bringing it up? At this moment, all the experts around heaved a sigh of relief. Well said. If they didn't say it, they would feel suffocated. But if they did, Moon's spirit would definitely fall out with them. Now that Heaven's pole said it, everyone felt much better. Back then, this rumor was definitely spread by that cat and dog. When the heavenly hounds saw Moon's spirit, it ran as far away as it could. It's fine if you peeped, but you spread the rumor after peeping. It's already good enough that you didn't fight it out with me. In the distance, Heaven's pole's clothes were tattered and his hair was like a chicken's nest. He looked up at the sky as if he was thinking about life. What's wrong now? Why did Moon's spirit attack him for no reason? To be honest, I didn't spread it. Back then, it was spread in the heaven realm. I just remembered it. Undeserved disaster. Heaven's pole felt wronged. He felt that today was an unlucky year. He was comparable to Hongkuin. After slashing Heaven's pole, Moon's spirit seemed to vent her anger. She snorted. There's no good person with the surname Tian. Heaven's pole was speechless. Tengu's surname Tian? Isn't it a little unreasonable to implicate him? Ashcat's surname is Tsang. It's just a cat and dog. Back then, it was said that they were favored by the heavens. That's why Ashcat and Tengu were called. When a group of heavenly kings attacked, each one was more ruthless than the other. They wanted to kill a bunch of them immediately. But when it was time to chat, they were like old friends, gossiping about this person and that person. It had been too many years. For more than 8,000 years, these people had been alone, who had chatted with each other. To their descendants, to their subordinates, to their descendants, there was nothing to talk about. Loneliness. Loneliness. Some things had to be hidden and suppressed. They couldn't even be said. Now, although they were opponents and enemies, they were also a group of people who could really talk freely. Talking about the past and the present made them less hostile. After chatting for a while, Heavenly King Jin suddenly said, If we go out this time, why don't we find a place to chat again? What else do we have to pursue in the three realms? It's nothing more than to pursue immortality, to break through the door, to surpass ourselves, and to become an emperor. Let the younger generation solve their own matters. Let's talk about how to break through the 9 heavens and go to the immortal origin to take a look. Go to the 3 realms to dig graves and see if we can dig out a few old antiques. We've been working hard for so many years. Seeing that the Emperor Dao is about to be revealed, what's the point of fighting to the death now? Seeing that no one spoke, Heavenly King Jin continued, The world of chaos is also the time to rise. With us old fellows blocking in front, how can the future generations rise? If no one rises, I suspect that the great Dao might not appear, and the door blocking the door might not appear either. I've been observing all these years. I'm afraid that only when there are more people who achieve the Tao, and when there are more new roads, will the door appear. Heavenly King Jin said solemnly. The door that blocked the road back then was blocking the old road. Are there people blocking the new road? Not necessarily. Only when there are more new roads could the door change. Otherwise, it would still be a pool of stagnant water. Could the door really appear? When the celestial man realm wall shattered, the road appeared. The door appeared? All these years, everyone knew that you suppressed me. I suppressed you. You didn't let my people achieve the Tao. I didn't let your people achieve the Tao. What really made everyone feel the change was in the past 1,000 years. There was actually such a change 1,000 years ago. That was because there were many new true gods in the catacombs. If it had continued back then, there might have been hope for the great Tao to appear. However, some people could not wait and insisted on tormenting it. Just like that, 1,000 years had passed. Now there is such a trend again. I don't deny that it has something to do with humans stepping into the origin Tao in recent years. There are also a few new paragons. It's also because of this that everyone feels a little different. Heavenly King Jin smiled and said, but if it's like 1,000 years ago, before they grow up and start harvesting, everyone, can the great Tao really be opened? Do we have to wait for another 1,000 years? Our lifespans are long, but no matter how long it is, there is a limit. Like King Qian, can you still wait for another 1,000 years? King Kuan said coldly, you want to wait for humans to grow up? Even if what you said makes sense, there are still a few new roads. Zhang Tao can die. Feng Ping can die. Old true gods like divine foretelling can also die. If you let them kill themselves and give humans another 30 to 50 years, so what? Zhang Tao became a top-notch saint in less than 100 years. And there is hope for Heavenly King. Give you another 30 to 50 years. Do you really think the powerhouses of the three realms are idiots? You can't say that. Heavenly King Jin smiled and said, now that they are advancing by leaps and bounds, once they encounter a bottleneck, it is very normal to be stuck for 1,000 years. Look at us, we were also geniuses back then. You, Hong Kuan, also advanced to the Heavenly King realm at a young age. After all these years, how have you been? King Sun and King Jin were heavenly kings back then. After all these years, have they broken through 7? Actually, this old man still thinks that it might be a good thing if a few more heavenly kings appear. They are all old faces. Isn't it very interesting to have a few new faces? King Kuan ignored him. He wanted to buy time for humans, but King Kuan did not really care. However, there were a few people that could not be done. King Wu. This was a huge threat. The newly advanced true gods Li Jun, Nan Yunyue, Zhang Weiyu Wu Chuan, Zhao Xingwu, Chen Yaozu. He still did not know that there was only so much time in the human world. Another person had proven his Tao. In addition to the few who were suspected to be the reincarnation of the 4 emperors, these people were all great threats. The speed of the human race's eruption was too fast. The others also had their own thoughts. What Heavenly King Jin said might not be without reason. They all sensed that the great Tao was about to appear, and the door to block the door was about to appear. This was a faint feeling that came from their great Tao. They walked very far and could feel some abnormalities. 1,000 years ago, there was indeed such a trend. 1,000 years ago, it was the rise of the catacombs. 1,000 years ago, the catacombs were also flourishing. A large number of true gods rose at that time. The 4 royal courts were at war. At that time, the dynasties were established, and the divine sects fought for supremacy. 1,000 years ago, the catacombs were also the main character of the general trend. Therefore, 1,000 years ago, the catacombs suffered. A large number of true gods died. That was why the demon emperor entered the catacombs and delayed for 1,000 years. Now, the human race was the main character of the general trend. Moreover, it was even more obvious than the previous catacombs. Everyone knew that the general trend this time would probably be opened by the human race. However, the human race's eruption was too fast, faster than the catacombs. If this continued, everyone was worried that the main character of the general trend this time would really rise. In the end, the 8,000 years of waiting and scheming would all benefit the human race. Everyone fell into deep thought. For a moment, no one spoke again. Heavenly King Subduing looked around, smiled, and said no more. It was good that everyone knew. In this way, there would be some scruples. Of course, Zhang Tao, Feng Ping, and the others were not on the list of scruples. But the few of them who cared about their lives. Heavenly King Subduing muttered in his heart. These few fellows, good people don't live long, but scourges last for 1,000 years. Zhang Tao was now harming the true gods and venerable emperors of the three realms. That kid Fong Ping, who knew who he was harming outside, the heavenly weeping command suddenly showed signs of resurrection. He had seen heavenly dogs attack back then. Could that guy survive? Who could fit the heavenly weeping command? Other than the 36 saints, those who were conferred titles by the heavenly court, this kid Fong Ping could also do it, right? If it was him, he would have already fought his way to the evil sex lair. Would he still need to worry about that guy? I'll drag it out one day at a time. Heavenly King subduing thought in his heart. When the human race produced a heavenly king powerhouse, he felt that it was time for him to rest. 8,000 years. He had done what he promised back then. It was time to let the old man rest, right? Thinking of this, he looked at the array in front of him again and suddenly felt a chill. Could it be that Spirit Emperor had really crawled out from inside? If that was really the case, he had to be prepared to escape as soon as possible. It shouldn't be. Back then, what was inside? Spirit Emperor didn't seem to have any treasures. If he dug for half a day and dug out a cat's basin, these people will beat the cat to death. Thinking of this, Heavenly King subduing raised his eyebrows slightly. If they wanted to beat the cat, so be it. Beating the cat was not looking for trouble with this old man. But it was not to the extent, right? Spirit Emperor was bored and put the cat's basin here. At this moment, Magic City's cat sneezed again. I can't live anymore. I've already hidden in the human world, but people still think of me every day. What's wrong with this? Which heartless person is thinking of me again? Meow. A sorrowful voice sounded. The cat felt that it should look for the captain as soon as possible. It really couldn't live anymore. Chapter 11:13. In the Kuan King Palace. Fong Ping had already refined the Saint Order. At this moment, Fong Ping was overjoyed. The source world was extremely stable. Not only that, but he also discovered that he seemed to have a new way of fighting his enemies. No weapons. The Saint Token was a holy weapon. He had the God-slaying saber, but because it was broken, it was only very effective when it was used to slay the Tao. At other times, it was just average. The God-slaying saber could increase his strength a little, but it was very low. It might not even be comparable to some true God weapons that he was comfortable with. Now, Fong Ping felt that the sacred weapon, the Saint Token, could increase his strength by at least 5%. As for the God-slaying saber, it had not reached this level previously. Use it as the flipping sky seal. Directly suppress it. This feels even better than chopping people with a knife. Fong Ping suppressed the excitement in his heart and glanced at true Lord Earthfly. At that moment, perfected Lord Di Fei asked joyfully, "How's the refinement going?" Fong Ping nodded. "It's quite compatible." "Very good." True Lord Earthfly's face lit up with delight. Fong Ping looked at him for a while and said nothing more. Di Fei's performance reminded him of someone. It felt like a person from a long time ago, but in reality, it hadn't been that long. The Magic City Catacombs Aquila from back then. At that time, Fong Ping had also impersonated his son, Kuei Ming, and entered the restricted zone. That person also doted on his son in every possible way. Fong Ping had taken away all of his savings, but that person did not seem dissatisfied at all. He was extremely satisfied. As for the end, Kuei was dead. Fong Ping knew, but he did not make a move. That battle had affected a wide area. Aquila had died at the hands of MCMAU powerhouses. Either Wu Quishan or Old Man Li Fong Ping did not ask, nor did he look. He was burdened with many things. He didn't dare to be soft-hearted or relax. Di Fei must die. Di Fei loved Yun Sheng very much. For Yun Sheng, he dared to challenge Venerable Sovereign. Once he found out that Fong Ping had killed his son, even if he could not kill Fong Ping, he would still seek revenge on humans in a frenzy. If a paragon wanted to seek revenge on humans, then humans would be in big trouble. I hope I won't do it myself. Fong Ping suppressed the complicated feelings in his heart. War really made people lose a lot. As for me, I am the leader of the human race. Even though I don't want to shoulder too much, now that I've come this far, I can't act recklessly. After suppressing these thoughts, Fong Ping said, "Let's go to the front. Lord Earthstrike is waiting for us there." Then we'll meet up with Lord Earthstrike. Then we can try to enter the inner temple. Naturally, Di Fei had no objections, and neither did Di Ping. Very soon, the three of them flew towards the reciprocity realm. After a while, he had reached the origin realm. Di Fei was also surprised when he saw reciprocity. He said very quickly, "This is reciprocity?" It said that the sect leader left many opportunities here, but it's also easy for people to get lost. While they were talking, Di Xing appeared. Seeing that Fong Ping had brought Di Ping and Di Fei, he gave Fong Ping a look. Attacking Di Ping now? Actually, whether Dipping died or not didn't matter much. What mattered was Di Qi. Di Qi was a near emperor-level master, and he had even entered the origin realm. If Di Qi was alive, they would be targeted by emperors. On the other hand, if Di Qi was alive, Di Xing felt that the control of this small team would always fall into Di Qi's hands. On the other hand, if they killed Di Qi, they would not be targeted by venerables. As for him, even if his strength was not strong, it was enough to occupy a place in this small team. Yunsheng, have you told Di Fei? No. Fong Ping transmitted his voice to Di Xing. Should we attack Di Ping, or let Di Ping join forces with us to deal with Di Qi? He was a little worried now. If he killed Di Ping and Di Qi, would the father and son attack him? If the father and son killed him and sought refuge with another venerables, their positions would be more stable. At this point, as there were too many deaths, everyone felt insecure. He also did not want to expose his strength because of the father and son. Are the three of us a match for Di Qi? Fong Ping asked. Actually, he was testing Di Xing on purpose. Were you confident? Both of them transmitted their voices. Di Xing said, Brother Di Qi has entered the origin realm. We'll wait here for a while. When Brother Di Qi comes out, we'll move together. Di Ping was a little tempted. Then, why don't we also enter the origin realm to explore? These Lord Gods more or less knew about the situation of the Earth King Hall. This was a treasure land. Since they were already here, why not go in and take a look? Di Xing frowned slightly. The situation inside is unclear. He transmitted his voice to Fong Ping. Kill Di Ping. If Di Ping went in, he was also worried that Di Ping had obtained the opportunity. As for Di Fei, when they killed Di Ping and Di Qi, there would be no time for Di Fei to find the opportunity in the origin realm. Fong Ping gave him a deep look. This guy was still as decisive as ever. He killed without hesitation. They had been working together for thousands of years. He did not leave any mercy. Okay. Fong Ping did not hesitate. The moment the voice transmission ended, a big seal appeared out of thin air. Di Ping was still communicating with Di Xing, feeling the qi movement behind him. He was about to turn around when his expression suddenly changed. He hurriedly broke through the air. But there was Di Xing in front. It was at this moment that the exalted earth made his move. A punch. This punch was mixed with a lot of water vapor, making Di Xing look extremely blurry. But his cold eyes made Di Ping's heart cold. There was danger ahead. There was a killing move behind. He did not understand. Why? Why did Yunsheng and Di Xing attack him? Only 5 true gods could fight against venerable emperors. If he died, what benefits would they get? His strength was not considered strong. He was only following them to protect his life. Why did they want to kill him? He really did not understand. Could it be because he saw Yunsheng's saint token? But what about Di Xing? He did not have time to think. It was too fast. These two people attacked as soon as they said they would. Even Di Fei did not have time to react. At this moment, Di Fei also left the place in an instant. For a moment, he was a little dazed. What happened? Why did they attack Di Ping? He was still on good terms with Di Ping. However, at this moment, there was already a scream. This was the first time Fong Ping used the saint token, and this seal. Holy weapons were indeed powerful. Fong Ping only felt that he was instantly hollowed out. All the energy in his body was almost sucked out at once, instantly merging into the saint token. The aura that erupted from the saint token was extremely strong. This big seal seemed to be suppressing the world. All around, The heavenly golden immortal wall that was said to be able to forge holy weapons was slightly distorted at this moment. Di Xing's expression also changed. The big seal smashed directly toward him, and Di Ping. Even he felt the pressure. Fong Ping's face was also pale. He shouted in a low voice, "Suppress!" Rumble! The big seal fell, breaking through the air and suppressing. The void collapsed. First heaven, second heaven, third heaven. The fourth heavenly layer trembled slightly. At this moment, Di Fei and Di Xing saw it. Fourth heaven. That was the performance of an outburst of 2 million calories. Of course, fourth heaven was not broken. But even if it was not broken, this attack was still shockingly powerful. At least to them, this attack was incomparably powerful. Even if it was not a million-cal outburst, it was more than 900,000 calories. Di Xing's expression changed. The big seal in Yun Sheng's hand. Saint token? He had obtained the saint token. However, very soon his expression relaxed. An outburst of less than a million cal was not weak, but that was for him in the past. For the current him, such an outburst was not enough to pose a fatal threat to him. No wonder Yun Sheng was happy to cooperate with him. This kid probably thought that if he and Di Fei joined forces, they could easily suppress him. Holy weapon! Di Xing was greedy. He was only close to Emperor strength now, but if he obtained the holy weapon, he might really be close to Emperor. Yun Sheng was actually so lucky to obtain the saint token. This was also his opportunity. Thinking about it was one thing, but it did not stop him from attacking. Di Xing's eyes were cold. This punch also landed in the blink of an eye. The distance was too close. Di Ping was on guard, but he was guarding against Di Fei and his son. He really did not guard against Di Xing. From his point of view, although the 5 of them were one, they also had a small circle. Di Qi was the strongest, and Di Fei and his son were in a group. Since that was the case, he and Di Xing should be in a group. But now, Yun Sheng attacked him, and Di Xing actually attacked him too. "No! You guys are digging your own graves!" Di Ping roared. Were they all crazy? What was the benefit of killing him? He did not obtain any opportunity. Why did these people do this? He really could not accept it. Then, under the attack from the front and back, how could he have a chance to escape? The big seal behind him crashed into his back with a rumble. Bang! His back exploded, and his flesh was swept away by the cracks. Countless bones were broken. Up ahead, Dexing punched out, shattering all of his bones. Both of them ambushed him, and he was seriously injured with one move each. A scream came from his mouth, but he lost the upper hand. At this time, the power of the holy weapon was once again proven. When the saint token hit him, the flesh and bones on his back could not recover. A powerful force seeped into his body and continued to destroy his golden body. Di Ping roared again and again. Di Xing roared, "Di Fei attack!" True Lord Di Fei's expression changed slightly. Fong Ping also shouted, "Father, kill him first, then I'll explain to you." Di Fei gritted his teeth, his gaze a little complicated. He was confused by the current situation. Who was on the same side with whom? Even Yun Sheng could not understand what was going on. These 2 days were like a dream. Even though he did not understand, at this point, Di Fei still sighed softly. An energy longsword condensed in his hands, and the next moment, he slashed towards Di Ping. The 3 of them attacked at the same time, slashing towards the seriously injured Di Ping. Far away, the Thunder Emperor looked in that direction and frowned slightly. What happened? A battle broke out? Who was fighting with whom? He wanted to go take a look. After thinking for a moment, the Thunder Emperor exhaled. Forget it. He should head to the inner hall first. The inner hall was where he wanted to go the most. Although he would gain something here, the chances of becoming a saint or a heavenly king were too slim. He might only have such a chance if he entered the inner hall. The Thunder Emperor ignored them and flew towards the end of the tunnel rapidly. He was a protector and knew more than Di Fei and the others. He had actually been to the inner hall before. Di Ping and the others had been there as well. However, they only had the chance to go under the guidance of a protector or protector. Even if they went, they would leave quickly and did not know as much as him. For example, He knew how to get to the inner hall, but the others might not. Boom! An energy tide swept through the entire hall. Di Ping's golden body was destroyed. With the three of them working together, how could he have a chance to resist? His flesh and bones were all swept away by the spatial rift. At the side, the Origin Realm hut trembled a little. Clearly, there were some fluctuations from the impact. Fong Ping quickly absorbed the energy nearby. The heavenly weeping order smashed towards the escaping Di Ping's spirit body again. With three powerhouses attacking, Di Ping could not escape. In front, Di Xing was already blocking the way again. His mentality erupted, shattering the space again. A punch blasted out, tearing the spirit body apart from a long distance away. Screams were heard again. Fong Ping's heavenly weeping order also descended again. With a boom, Di Ping's spirit body was smashed into pieces. The disintegrated spirit body fled in all directions again. This was a powerhouse. At Di Ping's level, if his mentality was not completely destroyed, the probability of his resurrection was very, very high. Only treasures could do it. Fong Ping and the other two each took a side and attacked again to kill the mentalities. Screams were heard again and again. Very soon, everyone narrowed the circle. In the middle of the circle, only an extremely weak mentality remained. Di Ping returned to his human form. His eyes were filled with hatred, his mentality fluctuating violently. Why? Di Xing, aren't you afraid that I'll be killed and you'll be next? How stupid. Di Xing did not speak. He had no intention of explaining. Kill him first. Di Xing might be coming out soon. He had to clean up the battlefield as soon as possible. He could not let Di Xing notice anything unusual. Di Xing blasted out a punch again, sweeping in all directions. Even the void was frozen by a gust of cold air. Di Ping's remaining mentality was too weak. As soon as the cold air descended, the apparition formed by his mentality was frozen. Frozen in the void. Di Xing's fist descended, shattering the frozen void. Like an ice cube shattering, Di Ping's mentality broke into pieces directly, completely shattered. Even so, Di Xing did not give up. He crushed all the split mentality into pieces. As for Fong Ping, his mentality swept in all directions. In the next moment, at the edge of a fissure, he caught a hint of aura. Mentality condensed into a sword, and he slashed it. Ah! A despairing scream was heard. At the edge of the fissure, some of Di Ping's remaining mentality was shattered directly. This time, Di Ping really had no more tricks up his sleeves. Rumble! In the hall, everyone only heard a roar, but they did not see any signs of Daos collapsing. This was the Earth King Hall. Daos collapsing should appear in the outside world. But everyone knew that Di Ping was dead. The dead Di Fei was still in a daze. Why did he kill Di Ping? At this moment, he could not help but look at Fong Ping. Vaguely, he felt a little unfamiliar. This person, was he really Yinxing? Before this, even if he had this thought a few times, he did not think deeply about it. His son had grown up. He was a father. Yunsheng was his only son. His son had grown up. The first thought that came to his mind was pride. Pride. Even if he felt surprised and strange, he did not think about anything else. But there had never been a moment like this when he felt that the person in front of him was not quite like his son. Resolute, sinister, vicious, killing without hesitation. He did not care if he killed others. Di Ping. He really planned to be in-laws with Di Ping. Yunsheng and Bai Rong had a good relationship. The two families had dealings. Therefore, when Bai Rong was killed that day, Yunsheng was flustered and wanted revenge. He and Di Ping did not think much. Yunsheng and Di Ping had been in contact many times too. Compared to the other Lord Gods, Di Fei felt that before killing Di Ping, he should have communicated with him more or less. But he did not. His son had contacted Di Xing and made a move. At this moment, Di Fei was watching Fong Ping's every move. He had some vague thoughts in his mind, but he felt that it was impossible. This was his son, but his son had changed too fast. No. No way. This is Yunsheng, Di Fei said in his heart. This was Yunsheng. It could not be anyone else. How could it be anyone else? 3,000 years ago, he gave birth to Yun Sheng, who was also his only descendant. That was also an era of great chaos. In that era, the heavenly emperor had fallen. In that era, not long after, the war of the earthly emperor-god dynasty broke out. After that, the war between the north and the south broke out. In these 3,000 years, both father and son had been in a deep sleep. Yun Sheng had been in a deep sleep for close to 2,000 years. To be honest, Yun Sheng should be less than 1,000 years old. In these 3,000 years, they had not been separated at all. After experiencing turmoil, darkness, and too much, how could his son be someone else? He has just broken through. That's why he looks a little unfamiliar. He has succeeded in proving his Tao. It's inevitable that he will be a little different. But Sheng, does he really have the talent to break through in battle? Di Fei was in a trance. Beside him, Fong Ping's eyes flickered slightly, but he did not say anything. Di Xing, this was an alliance of interests. Taoist Windcloud knew that he was Fong Ping. Venerable Emperor Thunder did not know. But if he knew, he would not kill him. He would probably capture him. At this moment, his identity had actually been gradually exposed. Di Fei, perhaps he had also developed doubts? All right. Fong Ping suddenly felt a little relaxed. Go ahead and doubt. Come and test me. He felt that it was best for him not to pretend to be someone else in the future. Even if he had to pretend, he should not pretend to be someone else's son. If he did something like this too often, even he himself would feel uncomfortable. If I want to pretend next time, I'll pretend to be someone else's father. Fong Ping murmured in his heart. Being someone else's father was better than being someone else's son. For a moment, the three of them fell into deep thought. No one spoke. They watched as the rift disappeared, watched as the energy swept in all directions, felt the slight vibration in the main hall. Presumably, at this time, it should be raining blood outside. Today, 4 true gods had died. Yesterday, 1 venerable emperor and 2 true gods had died. A few days ago, 2 true gods had also died. 1 emperor and 8 true gods. They did not even know how they died. They had thought that the divine sect was incomparably powerful. Who would have thought that the more powerhouses there were, the faster they died? Outside the Earth King Hall. Indeed, it was raining blood. Yesterday's blood rain had just ended, and today it was ushering in another one. Indistinct cries could be heard. That was Di Ping's mansion. Dead. Lord Di Ping had fallen. Today, another master god had died in the divine sect. When would such days come to an end? Below the main hall, the golden skeleton was greedily absorbing everything. Another true god had died. What had happened these 2 days? Could it be that someone had sent him energy because they knew that he was about to revive? Skywood Forest. The Earth King's clone was currently livid and extremely solemn. Dead. Even if he said that he did not care, it was still difficult for him to accept that another person had died. At this moment, even if he was still fighting with Skywood, he could not help but ask, who was that person? He is definitely not Yun Sheng. Too many people have died since he entered the Heavenly Palace. Skywood, tell me who he is. Skywood laughed. Your Highness, you should go as soon as possible. If you don't go now, it's hard to say how many of your people will survive. Old Sue is not too sure who this person is, but I know that this person is the current King of Man. King of Man? The Earth King's clone was shocked. King of Martial Arts? No. Impossible. Although he was a clone, when the Earth King was around, he was always in the Heavenly Palace. He would also know the Earth King's memories. At this moment, the first person he thought of was Zhang Tao. Very quickly, he denied this. Pluto? Moon Prince? No. These 2 people do not have this ability. King of Man. King of Man. As the Earth King's clone thought about it, his gaze suddenly changed. Fong Ping. When the real body left, Fong Ping was still weak. At that time, he only had rank 9 combat strength, which was not worth mentioning to the Earth King. But he had collected information about Fong Ping. Hiding his identity and changing his aura, Fong Ping had done this before. In addition, he knew that most of the human powerhouses had left, so the one who sneaked in right now was most likely Fong Ping. Fong Ping. The Earth King's clone gritted his teeth. It was actually Fong Ping. That guy actually sneaked into the heavenly palace and created chaos. Were Feng Yun and Thunder idiots? Did they not discover his identity until now? One venerable emperor and 6 true gods were dead. Or they had already discovered it, but for their own benefit, they did not care about it? Idiot! Idiot! This is the second King Wu. If I don't kill him, he will become a big problem sooner or later. After cursing in his heart, the Earth King soon became dejected. Big problem? Yes, they all felt that King Wu and Fong Ping would become a big problem. But from the perspective of Feng Yun and the others, what did it have to do with them? No matter how strong King Wu and Fong Ping were, who would they look for first? Obviously not them. In their opinion, this was something that only powerhouses like the Earth King would consider. As for Feng Yun and the others, their top priority was to become stronger, so strong that they had the right to consider future troubles, unlike now where they did not even have the right to consider these things. Opposite him, Tianmu sighed. Your Highness, let's go back. 8,000 years of accumulation. Is it really going to be burned to the ground? It's hard to do it alone. Your Highness's subordinates are really all dead, and you are all alone. Can Your Highness really gain the upper hand in the upcoming big change? Human King, human world. This big change is the trend of the human world. If you don't kill these people now, it will become more and more difficult to kill them. Just like in the ancient times, every big change, someone rose up, someone proved the Tao in the chaos. The 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors all had such experiences. Your Highness is the son of the earthly sovereign, so you should know that in the ancient times, when the earthly sovereign proved the Tao, it was accompanied by bloodshed. Tianmu sighed. I once heard that when the earthly sovereign proved the Tao, he fought with several powerhouses endlessly, broke through the 8th heaven, and even fought his way into the 9th heaven. Finally, he got a glimpse of the Emperor's Tao and became immortal. That was the era of the earthly sovereign. And in this era, how many people became emperors? In my opinion, there might only be one, Human King, especially the current Human King. He has the highest chance. Your Highness, are you really not going to stop him? King Kun looked at him coldly. Tianmu's words were not unreasonable, but it had been 8,000 years. At this point, was he really going to give up? There were still 2 venerable sovereigns left. King Kun suddenly snorted coldly. Then let them die. The elites of the Celestial Palace were not here. Even if their nest was really destroyed, although it was a serious injury, it was not as important as Tianmu. Seeing him like this, Tianmu was also helpless. There was no other way. King Kun was not going to let him go. Even if he sold out Fong Ping completely, he was not willing to leave. This time he was really in trouble. The world is in chaos. Luck, luck, Tianmu suddenly sighed. In every era, the rise of the prodigy seemed to have great luck. This time, if not for him holding back King Kun's clone, or rather, if King Kun's clone insisted on holding him back, the Human King would not have any way to survive. However, the situation was like this, and King Kun's clone could not leave. Even though he knew that Human King was there, after weighing the pros and cons, King Kun's clone still chose not to return. This was luck. Luck was between a dead end and a way to life. Some external factors would passively affect everything, allowing these people with great luck to step on the road to life instead of death. Tianmu had experienced this many times, or rather, heard of it many times. The 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors all had such experiences. Otherwise, these people would not have been able to stand out and prove their Tao in that era. Human King. Fong Ping's appearance, or rather, Yun Sheng's appearance, flashed across Tianmu's mind. He frowned slightly. Could it be that this Human King really had a chance? He knows the cat, knows Li Xuanxie, and has some extreme path Heavenly Emperor aura on him. He also has some Imperial Tao aura on him. This Human King is a bit scary. What I said today, if he finds out, I'm afraid he won't have a good ending. Tianmu glanced at King Kun's clone, his heart filled with hatred. You're not leaving? If you don't leave, then I'll kill you so that you won't even have a chance to leak the secret. If the clone is dead, who will know that I said this? Tianmu made up his mind. In the sky, The battle also became more intense. Above the void, an incomparably huge black space appeared. That was the sky collapsing. Chapter 11:14. Ping was dead. Outside the origin realm, the three of them did not stand together. Instead, they stood in a triangle. The silence lasted for a moment. Soon, Xing said, Qi is in the origin state. The three of us will work together to sneak attack Qi and kill him. Then, we will find one of the two venerable sovereigns and join forces with him. Before he could finish, Fei suddenly exploded. You still want to continue killing? Fei's face was filled with anger as he shouted. They're all dead. If ground strange dies, can you and I really live? Could venerable sovereign be trusted? Xing, do you want to bury his father and son? Or could it be that you have the confidence to survive and even want to be the final winner? Fei's voice was cold as he said, a child who has little experience and is inconsiderate. Are you the same? Let's not talk about whether or not the three of us can kill Ground Qi. Even if we can, why would Zun accept us? If two venerable sovereigns join hands, the three of us will be killed in an instant. At the side of the bed, I allow others to sleep soundly. What qualifications do you and I have to negotiate with venerable sovereign? Perhaps the two venerable sovereigns would rather have a final showdown than join hands with us and kill us. You bewitched the living and attacked Ping. How unwise! Fei was infuriated. Kill until he went crazy. And now he wanted to kill Ground Wonder. Xing definitely had a trump card, but so what? Xing's thinking was too simple. Dragons do not cohabit with snakes. Didn't the two venerable sovereigns know what they were thinking? He would definitely know. At that time, the two venerable sovereigns might kill them first and then decide the winner, because they were the same kind of people, and they were just a group of small fries. Xing frowned slightly and said calmly, however, if Qi doesn't die, you and I will be targeted even more easily, because Ground Oddity has the strength to threaten an emperor level. Bullshit, Fei said angrily. As long as Qi doesn't die, we can still negotiate with venerable sovereign. He even had the strength to threaten them. The two venerable sovereigns will not attack us easily. Otherwise, if we attack one of them, one of the venerable sovereigns will be injured. They're not afraid? Would the two venerable sovereigns dare to attack us rashly? Bastard, your lifespan is coming to an end, and you're willing to use any means necessary. You don't need to drag us down with you. If you dare to talk nonsense again, I'll kill you first. I'd like to see how strong your trump card is, and whether it can fight against a venerable sovereign. Xing's eyes were cold. He did not speak, but he looked at Ping. Ping glanced at Fei, his eyes flickering. After a while, he said slowly, since father doesn't agree, then let's drop this matter. When Lord Earthwonder returns, we'll find a chance to enter the inner hall. We'll decide what to do after that. Fei looked at him deeply, then looked at the place where Ping had fallen. His expression changed for a while, but he did not refuse again. The Earth Executioner was displeased to hear that, but after some thought, he gave up on trying to convince Fei. Terrafly was scared. As more and more people died, he also felt sorry for the loss of his own kind. It wasn't just fear. It probably had something to do with Yunsheng. Thinking of this, Xing glanced at Yunsheng out of the corner of his eye. Was there something that he didn't understand? The relationship between father and son was very good. But now it was a little different. Xing suppressed the restlessness in his heart and didn't speak again. The three of them quietly cleaned up the battlefield, erasing all traces. They stood outside the origin realm and waited. About 10 minutes later, a figure walked out of the origin realm. Earthwonder's expression was calm. He sensed the three people's auras as soon as he came out and was a little wary. But soon, a smile appeared on his face. You're all here, Fei said in a low voice. Ping has fallen. Brother, you're the strongest now. Whether you leave or stay, it's all up to you. The two venerable emperors are already preparing to enter the inner hall. Next, there will be a fight in the inner hall. Ping has fallen. Earthwonder's expression changed slightly. Another one had died. He really did not have much of a reaction when he was at reciprocity. Who killed him? I don't know. Earthwonder answered, not giving Fei a chance to speak. Earthwonder frowned slightly and did not ask again. After some thought, Earthwonder said slowly, Dipping is dead. Now, there are only the 6 of us in the Kunwang Palace. The inner hall is the core of the Kunwang Palace. The Celestial Emperor's golden body is in the inner hall. Not only that, the sect leader has been in seclusion in the inner hall for so many years. There must be treasures left behind. Fei said in a low voice, Brother, do you still want to fight? Of course. Earthwonder took a deep breath, causing a small airflow whirlpool around him. It was clear how complicated he was feeling. If you don't fight, you will die. The situation is coming. Although you and I are true gods, we will fight for the throne and the unification of the 3 realms. The weak still have a chance to survive. True gods like us will be the focus of everyone's attention. If we don't become stronger now, when the chaos comes, will we survive? Earthwonder looked at Fei and said with a dark expression, This is also our only chance. There are many treasure lands in the 3 realms, but they are also dangerous. This is the only place we know the most, and we are already deep. Fei, there is no turning back. There is really no turning back. Those who entered today had all made up their minds. After this, they would leave the Divine Court, because they had broken the Kunwang Palace and were trying to steal the Kunwang Palace's treasures. This was courting death. The moment they decided to break the Kunwang Palace, they were actually prepared to leave. The 3 realms was huge, and there would always be a place for them. Their own strength was fundamental. No matter how strong the Kunwang Palace was, what did it have to do with them? If the Kunwang Palace was strong, would he let them become emperors? Hearing his words, Fei said after a while, Then we'll listen to you. Then let's go. To the inner hall. Earthwonder did not say much, nor did he mention if he had gained anything in the Origin Realm. No one asked either. This was a secret, and everyone knew what to do. The 4 of them were very quiet, and they silently rushed toward the end of a tunnel. Fong Ping did not know how to enter the inner hall, but Earthwonder knew a little. At the end of the tunnel, at this moment, the appearance of a large door appeared on the wall at the end. Thunder arrived, and so did Feng Yun. The 2 of them faced each other in the air. No one spoke. After a while, Thunder said in a low voice, Ping is dead, right? That's right. Who killed him? Taoist Feng Yun said lightly, If it's not you or me, then it can only be those few. Thunder frowned, then suddenly snorted coldly. Looks like someone obtained an opportunity in the Origin Realm and felt that he did not need Ping's help. Who do you think it is? Fei, Xing, Qi, all of them are possible. Feng Yun smiled faintly. It sounded like he was talking nonsense, but Thunder noticed that he did not mention Yin Sheng. Thunder's eyes revealed a look of contemplation, and he quickly changed the topic. Did these people obtain a new great Tao in the Origin Realm? It might not be small, Taoist Feng Yun said, then lamented, The Origin Realm is an opportunity, but also a danger. Even if they obtain a great Tao, it is not their own Tao, so how far can they go? Even the owner of their Tao back then died, let alone these people now. Also, even if they inherit someone else's great Tao, can their bodies contain it in a short period of time? A little carelessness, and they will self-destruct. The Origin Realm is not a good place. Thunder did not reply, but looked at the door again. Can I enter the inner hall? Yes. Taoist Feng Yun did not seem to have any intention of playing riddles with him. He said, The inner hall is more dangerous than the outer hall. You can open the door now and enter the inner hall. However, I still suggest that you wait for them to come together. Let them scout the way. Will they agree? Strength is everything, Feng Yun said mildly. We can also test the waters to see who obtained the opportunity, or all of them. Thunder, don't count on joining forces with them to do anything to me. We haven't even seen the Celestial Emperor's golden body, and we are injured or one of us is dead. Can we really reap the benefits next? In the end, we may need to join forces to succeed. We can accept some of the others dying. Force them to scout the way. That's what you and I should do, not let them reap the benefits. Thunder Venerable Emperor was silent for a while, then quickly said, "All right." Then he said, "If they don't obey, kill them." Taoist Fengyun said calmly. Venerable emperors were venerable emperors, and true gods were true gods. Sit on top of the mountain and watch the tigers fight. Reap the benefits, be the Oriole. Everyone knew that they were not stupid. They all had the same thought. But how could it be so simple? Did Ground Chi think that they could be on equal footing with venerable emperors just because they had the strength to fight them? Fong Ping. Fengyun said this name in his heart, looking at the hall door from the corner of his eyes. Since they were here, they could not leave. Another wall passed. Fong Ping and the others were close to the end. Ground Chi suddenly frowned and said, "The two venerable emperors are in front." They looked at each other, their faces solemn. They thought that the venerable emperors had gone in. They did not expect that they were still waiting outside. Ground Chi said telepathically, "No matter what, we have come this far, and we have no way out. We cannot split up, we cannot compromise. We must fight for what we should fight for. The great Tao lies in fighting. The humans are getting stronger and stronger because of fighting. If we don't fight, neither you nor I will have a chance." Everyone was silent, and no one spoke. Soon, the two venerable emperors in front of them came into view. "They're here." Di Ping was indeed dead, the Thunder Overlord said calmly as he swept a glance at the few of them. As for the remaining four, he glanced at them. Ground Chi and the others seemed to be a little unstable. He did not know whether it was because they had obtained the opportunity or because of the battle just now. As soon as he spoke, Taoist Fengyun's figure flashed and appeared behind them. Ground Chi's expression changed. Taoist Fengyun smiled. "This is where the door to the inner hall is. Who will open the door?" "Master." Taoist Fengyun's smile disappeared. He said calmly, "Open the door." At this moment, if you want to participate, you have to pay the price. No one will help you explore the way. You will have to do it yourselves. The two venerable emperors would not be their pathfinders. If they wanted benefits, they had to pay the price. Ground Chi took a deep look at him, then looked at Thunder. Seeing that Thunder Venerable Emperor did not speak, he knew that the two had reached an agreement. He had hoped that the two would fear each other and not get along. Now, it was all just wishful thinking. They were venerable emperors, and venerable emperors had the dignity of venerable emperors. Exploring the way? Of course, it was the weak who would take the risk, not the strong. Ground Chi glanced at the people around him, exhaled softly, and said, "Let's go together." He did not let anyone go alone. At this point, he could not make them feel disappointed. In the air, Thunder and Fengyun raised their eyebrows slightly. Ground Chi knew what he was doing. In this way, they were even more tightly tied up. Fong Ping and the others looked at each other, but did not say anything. They followed Ground Chi toward the door. The door of the inner sanctum seemed to be one with the wall. Ground Chi walked in front, and the other three followed behind. From a distance, Ground Chi condensed an energy palm and pushed it toward the door. The other three also made their moves. The two venerable emperors slightly avoided it. Rumble! The door seemed to be pushed. There was no array. It was just a door made of heavenly gold. King Kun did not seem to set any obstacles in his inner sanctum. After all, this was his place of cultivation. There was a big array at the front door to prevent outsiders from entering. Inside the sanctum, if someone really broke the 5 great arrays outside, it would be a powerhouse. It would be useless to set up an array in the inner sanctum. Fong Ping's face was full of caution as he looked at the door that was slowly opening. Inner sanctum, Heavenly Dog, Golden Body, King Kun's cultivation place, Spring Watcher's cultivation place. This place had 2 owners. It kept the body of a dog, known as the 9 Emperors and 4 Emperors. Who knew if someone would suddenly appear? Fong Ping wondered if King Kun had left a guardian in the inner sanctum, although the possibility was not high. Leaving a guardian meant handing over some of his secrets and treasures to the guardian. Based on Fong Ping's understanding of the 3 realms' powerhouses, under normal circumstances, they would not do such a thing. Rumble, the door was still opening. Fong Ping could already see some of the inner sanctum situation through the gap. There seemed to be a yard in front of him. It was full of vitality. Fong Ping saw flowers and plants, a pavilion, and heard the sound of flowing water. This was King Kuin's cultivation place. It was also the place where he had stayed for close to 8,000 years. If such a place was as dark as a cave, Fong Ping would be impressed. He had stayed in a dark place for 8,000 years. It would be strange if such a person did not go crazy. There's no danger. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. It was good that there was no danger. Ground Chi saw that the door had completely opened, and he could see everything inside clearly. There was indeed a yard in front of him. It was huge. Hundreds of flowers were blooming. Pavilions, terraces, small bridges, and flowing water. They even saw some small animals. Yes, they were not monsters. They were really ordinary animals. Fong Ping saw them too. He knew some animals, but he did not know some. They might be extinct animals. However, there were no cats or dogs. Fong Ping glanced at them. They were flying in the sky, running on the ground, and swimming in the water. There was a striped tiger hiding in the bushes. There were colorful birds soaring in the sky. There were many animals, but he did not see any cats or dogs. He did not know if King Kuin did not like cats and dogs. At this moment, Thunder Overlord suddenly stretched out his hand. A thunderbolt shot out from his hand. In the distance, the tiger that was crawling in the bushes was killed instantly without any resistance, turning into a bloody mist. Not a monster, Thunder Overlord said. He was just testing the waters. As for those flowers and plants, they seemed to be ordinary plants, not treasures. These powerhouses did not seem to like to decorate their own residences. They were just ordinary. The tiger was killed. In the yard, the other animals ran in all directions. Everyone watched for a while but did not care. At this moment, everyone restrained their aura, not daring to rashly erupt in this place. Go in, Thunder Overlord growled, letting Fong Ping and the others go in first. Ground Chi hesitated for a moment, but still stepped into the door. Fong Ping and the others also followed and entered. In the courtyard, there was plenty of energy. However, it was not too rich. If it was too rich, it would make the environment look bad. A powerhouse like King Kuin did not need much energy, unless it was time to break through the realm. As soon as they entered, two venerable emperors came together. The door of the inner hall closed again. Fong Ping reached out and grabbed the water in a small river in front of him. After sensing it, it was ordinary river water, but it was mixed with some energy, probably caused by the accumulation of time. There were palaces on 3 sides of the courtyard. For example, the place where Fong Ping and the others were at was the door, and the other 3 sides had buildings. Thunder Overlord was a little excited, glancing at the main hall in front of him. Myriad Spirit Palace. The Celestial Emperor Golden Body was in Myriad Spirit Palace. Taoist Feng Yun saw his eagerness and reminded, Myriad Spirit Palace is the main hall, the most dangerous. If something happens, I'm afraid we won't have time to explore the other secondary halls. Should we go to Myriad Spirit Palace or the other secondary halls? Thunder Overlord thought about it, looked at the palace on the left, and said, let's go to the Dao Hall first. The books in the Dao Hall are not only left behind by the Spring Guardian, but also by the sect leader, and even by the earthly sovereign. The Dao Hall was where King Kuin collected ancient books. The Spring Guardian and King Kuin had lived for too many years and had collected a lot of ancient books. Moreover, King Kuin had brought a batch of collections from the earthly palace. This place might have some supreme ancient books of combat techniques and cultivation methods. No one had any objections. If they could find a heavenly king cultivation method, even if they could not learn it, they could still take a look and learn from it. Soon, everyone pushed open the door of the Dao Hall. It was as vast as the sea. At first glance, there were books everywhere. There were animal skin books, paper books, bamboo books, crystal books, and some books made of metal materials. There were books everywhere, many but not messy. The moment he entered this place, Fong Ping's only thought was that powerhouses. Many were actually cultured people, real cultured people. They read ancient books, created their own scriptures, made use of their strengths to make up for their weaknesses, absorbed the cultural essence of the ancient and modern people, eliminated the dregs, and strengthened themselves. Needless to say, King Kuan had probably come to this place to read many books. Powerhouses knew too many things. Take Old Man Lee and the others, for example. Which one of them did not read tens of thousands of books? Old Man Lee had also studied a lot of human anatomy, cytology, and energetics. That was why he had forged half a golden body at rank 6. Old Wong and the others, even if they were iron-headed, could still recognize seal scripts and inscriptions. At this level, who would not have some culture? Even if Fong Ping did not study for a long time, he had learned the catacombs language and some seal scripts. When he had broken through to rank 6, he had also entered the library and read tens of thousands of books. Everyone was knowledgeable and cultured. The books they had read were also as many as the hairs on a cow. At this moment, everyone was still a little excited. This was King Kuan's collection, the collection of the Emperor's son. Here, were there some supreme Tao-seeking treasures here? Although there were many books in this basilica, they were mainly divided into 4 areas. Fong Ping glanced over and realized that King Kuan had actually divided them into different areas. Beginner martial arts, heavenly court, 3 realms, miscellaneous talk. These were the 4 major areas that King Kuan had divided. Fong Ping glanced at them and thought for a while. He roughly understood what he meant by the division. The beginner martial arts era, that was the era when the real martial arts appeared, even older than heavenly court. As for how long ago exactly beginner martial arts, Fong Ping had no way of knowing. As for heavenly court, that was after beginner martial arts, after the emperor appeared. Only then did heavenly court come into existence. This was also the current ancient martial era that Fong Ping and the others had identified. After that, heavenly court was shattered, and the 3 realms were no longer unified. This was a chaotic period that had lasted until now. In fact, it could be considered as a big era. Therefore, King Kuan had divided the 3 realms into different areas. Miscellaneous talk was probably not divided by era. Thunder and Taoist Wind Cloud. One of them went straight to the heavenly court area, while the other went straight to the beginner martial area. The one who went to the beginner martial area was Taoist Wind Cloud. Fong Ping glanced at them, thought for a while, and went to the miscellaneous talk area. Today, the idiot suddenly came to visit and told me that he called himself tyrant and could no longer be called an idiot, or else he would have to bear the consequences. Fong Ping opened an animal skin book at random. He clearly could not understand the words in it, but at this moment there was suddenly something different. He had never seen a scene like this before. In front of his eyes, there seemed to be a figure smiling and shaking his head, as if he was recording something. The words in the book seemed to have turned into a voice. It was this person speaking. The idiot also said that he had already forged jade bones and asked me to teach him the forging method of spiritual consciousness. After teaching the idiot for 3 years, the idiot covered his face and fled, and had no choice but to give up on the forging method of spiritual consciousness. Last night, Dong Wang came to visit with his disciple. Dong Wang's disciple called it battle. Battle? More pleasant to the ears than the idiot's name. Dong Wang came to visit, also for the forging method of spiritual consciousness. Battle, and I talked long through the night, talking about the forging method of spiritual consciousness. Both of us learned something. Dong Wang's disciple, the prodigy of this generation. The idiot went to the beginner martial ground and challenged everyone. Without using the origin, he battled everywhere with his flesh. He was defeated, and his jade bones were broken. He went to ask for the method of energy outburst. I want to go to beginner martial. With the state of non-origin, I fight the strongest beginner martial. I wonder if I can win? I was defeated too. I didn't tell the idiot. The idiot was defeated, and everyone knew. If I told them, it would be very troublesome. Can beginner martial enter the origin? Today, Dong Wang, Emperor, and the God Emperor, the 3 emperors are debating. Why can't beginner martial enter the origin? Dong Wang said, beginner martial has no Tao. Tao comes after beginner martial. The Great Path has no beginner martial. Emperor said, beginner martial has no Tao. Tao is the road ahead, but also the shackles. After beginner martial, there is no more flesh and strong spiritual consciousness. The Great Path has its limits. The god emperor pondered for a long time. He said that the great path collapsed, and heaven and earth were reforged. Beginner martial may not be unable to enter the Tao. Tao comes after beginner martial. Where does the Tao come from? Forging the body. Forging the Tao, which is better and which is worse. Fong Ping's eyes flickered. He knew that the Heaven Extermination Emperor seemed to have the habit of making notes. Previously in Combat Heavenly Palace, he also saw a copy of the Devil Emperor's translation of the notes left behind by the Heaven Extermination Emperor. This note gave him the feeling that it was left behind by the Heaven Extermination Emperor. However, this should be the original copy. The previous copy should be translated by the Devil Emperor. After beginner martial, there is Tao. So beginner martial has no great path? And beginner martial has no great path, so golden body and mentality are limitless. After beginner martial, there is a great path. There is a limit? Ironhead and Old Yao's past lives went to the place where beginner martial artists were. In the end, without using the origin, they were defeated? Fong Ping's eyes flickered. At the realm of extreme Tao Heavenly Emperor, even if they did not use the origin, they would still be terrifyingly powerful. The existence of a breakthrough 9. What kind of concept was that? It was probably 40 million calories vitality, destructive power. Even if the origin had an increase, by how many times? 100,000 meters, Heavenly King Realm, an increase of 3 times. According to the increasing relationship, when it reached 1 million meters, it would only be 4 times. If these extreme Tao Heavenly Emperors walked 1 million meters and had a 4 times increase, reaching 40 million calories vitality destructive power, that also meant that their basic vitality was at least 8 million calories. Of course, this was relative to a rank 9. 8 million calories, and they were still defeated. Did that not mean that these beginner martial artists, without any increase, had the strength of a breakthrough 7? Too powerful. Is the human body so terrifying? Fong Ping fell into deep thought. He had always thought that the Golden Body 9 refinements was the limit of the human body. Last time at Skywood, he only found out that one could also forge jade bones. In that case, 9 refinements was not the limit, and the Batian Celestial Emperor, with jade bones, was still defeated. The battle that destroyed the heavenly realm that year, was it related to these beginner martial artists? Such a thought emerged in Fong Ping's mind. He rarely heard news about beginner martial artists. There were legends, but he only knew about it when the old man at Skywood mentioned it previously. Only then did he know a little. Today, he saw some records about beginner martial artists again. Beginner martial artists. Heavenly King Garrison seems to be a beginner martial artist disciple. Fong Ping suppressed the thought in his heart. The books in this place were all good stuff. He had to pack them up and take them away. He would read them slowly when he returned. Chapter 11:15. In the temple, everyone had something to gain. Venerable Thunder Overlord and Taoist Feng Yun seemed to have found what they wanted. Although they did not show it, Fong Ping noticed that both of them had stuffed things into their storage rings. Storage rings, seeing their storage rings. Fong Ping thought of the few people who had died earlier. At that time, there were many people and the battle was chaotic. A few true gods were killed directly. Their storage rings were not even seen. As for Venerable Flame Emperor, he had died in Skywood Forest. His storage ring was not seen either. Fong Ping was a little regretful. He did not know how many treasures had been lost. At this moment, Fong Ping also picked up some books. Whether they were good or bad, he would put them away first. Soon, everyone had collected some rare books. However, everyone's storage space was limited. They did not collect all the books. Fong Ping could not show it now, so he did not take too many. Taoist Feng Yun must have gotten what he wanted. He said with satisfaction, some of the records in the temple are very useful to everyone. However, in terms of treasures, the temple opposite has more. Temple, Ground Chi laughed. Is it the place where the cult leader's treasures are listed? That's right. Taoist Feng Yun introduced. The cult leader was the son of the earthly emperor, one of the 8 kings. He collected a lot of treasures in the past 8,000 years. Some of them are not of use to the cult leader, so they are all stored in the temple. King Kuan had lived for so many years and had such a large force. Naturally, he had collected a lot of treasures. Many of the items that could not be used were stored in the treasure hall as a form of remembrance. There were only 3 main halls in the inner temple: Dao Hall, Treasure Hall, and All Spirit Hall. At this moment, everyone did not say much and went straight to the treasure hall. The treasure hall was opposite the Dao Hall. There were no defensive measures. The moment the door was pushed open, Fong Ping thought he had arrived at an exhibition hall. This place was different from the Dao Hall. This place was divided into exhibition tables. Each table had an item placed on it, but some were already empty. There were not many exhibition tables. King Kuan had high standards, so he would not take a fancy to everything. Fong Ping glanced. There were about 40 to 50 exhibition tables. Some of them were already empty, and only about half of them had items in them. When they arrived at the treasure hall, Venerable Thunder and the others went straight to the deepest part. Everyone felt that the treasures were there. Why would they waste time on the periphery? Fong Ping took a look. There seemed to be restrictions on the booths, but he was not in a hurry. Moreover, if he were to compete with 2 venerable sovereigns now, he might not end up well. Fong Ping walked toward an exhibition stand with something on display beside him. On this display stand, there was a broken sword. There was a record on the side of the broken sword. Over the years, King Kuan had collected a lot of things. Some of them he recognized, while others he didn't. What he cared about was not their value, but their meaning. He sighed a little. A fragment of the beginner's sword. The sword of the beginner's sword god. One of the strongest beginner sword masters, defeated by Dong Wang. His sword was shattered and he died. Beginner's sword god? Fong Ping raised his eyebrows slightly. This was actually a beginner martial artist's weapon, the sword of one of the strongest powerhouses, the powerhouse who had created the existence of martial arts. This time, it was also Fong Ping's first time learning about Dong Wang and the other emperor's battle achievements. This supreme master fought with Dong Wang and was defeated. His sword was destroyed and he died. As for King Kuan, he had collected some fragments from somewhere. Even if it was just a broken sword and was separated by the seal, Fong Ping felt like he was seeing history. Could this be the first powerhouse to use a sword since the beginning of time? The broken sword seemed a little different from the current sword. It gave Fong Ping the feeling that it was similar to a stick. If it was not for the blade, he might not be able to recognize it as a sword. After so many years, this sword is still here. I'm afraid it's also a treasure. Old man, Li uses a sword. I wonder if I can gain anything. Fong Ping had this thought in his mind. This might be the first martial artist to use a sword in the world. If there was something left behind, it should be helpful to old man Li, right? Thinking of this, Fong Ping began to break the seal. The seal was not considered strong. King Kuan probably only set it up to prevent things from weathering. Fong Ping quickly opened the seal. Holding the broken sword in his hand, Fong Ping sensed it for a while and frowned slightly. There was no strong qi movement, and there was no residual energy. It was a good quality. Fong Ping squeezed it, but the broken sword did not react much. I'll give it to old man Li to study when I get back. Fong Ping put away the beginner sword. The others glanced at him. Someone scanned with mentality. In the distance, the Thunder Emperor was also breaking the seal. However, it seemed that the other side was much stronger. He did not break it, but he was also paying attention to everyone's movements. Seeing that Fong Ping had put away the broken sword, the Thunder Emperor said lightly, "This broken sword is a treasure." The so-called ultimate powerhouses are all the leaders of the beginner martial era. They are all top-notch heavenly kings. The weapons in the hands of the beginner martial era powerhouses are comparable to the divine weapons later on. Although the beginner martial sword is broken, it can be melted down and reforged. Maybe it can also be forged into an emperor weapon or even a holy weapon. He was just saying it. He did not pay much attention to it. Melting down and reforging these things was easier said than done. With this energy, they might even be able to reforge an emperor weapon or a holy weapon. Fong Ping did not care about him. Everyone knew that some things were more important than their value. If it was really a treasure, would these 2 emperors let them take it away so easily? Divine Emperor Nature Pill. Very soon, Fong Ping saw the second booth and the second treasure. Refined by the divine emperor, a work of games. Glorious sun effect. Fong Ping glanced at it briefly. It seemed like a rather useless pill. It could not enhance one's ability or strengthen one's foundation. Its only use was somewhat similar to Immortal Quest Island's Immortal Quest pill. It could be stuffed into the source world to act as a sun. This thing did not look big. In reality, after entering the source world, it could be hung high in the sky and used as a sun. However, Immortal Quest Island's Immortal Quest pill seemed to have some other uses. This Divine Emperor Nature pill was actually a high-powered light bulb. Powerhouses did not care whether their source world was bright or not. This was indeed not very useful. However, Fong Ping was still very interested. After all, it was a pill refined by an emperor. It was also considered a treasure. He took it. No one snatched this thing from him. This time, Thunder did not even introduce it because it was indeed a little useless. Fong Ping put it away. He did not dare to eat it now. Who knew how old this pill was and whether it would expire? Brain source. When powerhouses die, their spiritual consciousness will overflow and bloom and bear fruit. This is called brain source. When he saw the third treasure, Fong Ping looked at it again and again. It looked so familiar. This thing, haven't I seen this thing before? Brain source, heavenly god fruit? In the next moment, Fong Ping cursed in his heart. Old Wong and the other bastards, this was what they gave me to eat last time, right? They actually lied to me and said it was some heavenly god fruit. Heavenly treasure, my foot. This thing turned out to be something that grew on powerhouses' heads after they died. However, it did have the effect of increasing mentality, and the effect was not bad. According to King Kuin's introduction, this brain source was found on the corpse of a heavenly king powerhouse. Brain source. Not everyone would grow it after they died. It depended on the probability of this thing. The probability was very low. When they died, the head was still there and not completely obliterated. This situation was actually rare. It was mainly helpful for powerhouses below True God. As for those above True God, the effect was average. Of course, this was the brain source of a heavenly king powerhouse. Perhaps it would have some effect on true gods. Fong Ping glanced at it and did not care about it. He did not really need it. For him now, having a strong mentality was not much of a benefit. He did not want his brain core to explode. It's not bad to leave it for others. Odia can use it, right? Fong Ping did not care so much. He broke the restriction again and kept it. At this moment, the others also broke the restriction one after another, collecting some treasures. Not far from Fong Ping, Ground Chi broke a restriction and collected a long spear. Ground Xing's eyes were red. It seemed like he knew what it was. Fong Ping also used his mentality to take a look. The weapon used by this king at True God. In a short sentence, Fong Ping knew what it was. It was actually the weapon used by King Kuin back then. It was probably a top-notch True God weapon even if it was not an Emperor weapon. No wonder Ground Chi could not close his mouth from smiling. This spear was the most suitable for him now. He had near Emperor strength. Using the long spear that King Kuin had used until he reached Emperor level was just right. Daoist Feng Yun did not say anything. In the distance, Venerable Thunder was still breaking the restriction that he had just broken. At this moment, he said lightly, "It's best not to take the sect leader's weapon. Once the sect leader returns," the divine weapon was used by the sect leader back then. As soon as these words came out, Ground Chi's expression changed slightly. King Kuin might not care about ordinary things, but he could sense the weapon that he had used for many years, even if it was far away. If he took this weapon, it would be really dangerous. Ground Chi struggled for a while. Although he was a little reluctant, he still made up his mind. He would just use it this time. After this was over, he would throw this spear away. Everyone was breaking the restriction. Some things were really worthless. For example, on the exhibition stand that Fong Ping encountered now, there was a somewhat dilapidated plaque. Earth Palace, written by my father personally. King Kuin did not explain much, but the engraving gave Fong Ping a somewhat unpleasant feeling. Earth Palace's plaque. Back then, Earth Emperor personally wrote it. Unfortunately, it was destroyed later on. He had also searched for a long time before he accidentally found a piece of ruins and took this plaque away. The plaque was already dilapidated. The 3 words Earth Palace on it were also dilapidated. Only one complete word was left. The remaining 2 were blurred. Fong Ping wanted both good and bad things, and he did not mind. He still remembered that back then, Li Jun had written a piece of calligraphy for Old Man Li. It was very powerful. Old Man Li's myriad Tao unification was related to that piece of calligraphy. This was written by Earth Emperor. Perhaps it had some special effects. Fong Ping broke the restriction again and took away the plaque. Seeing that he took everything, everyone was speechless. For powerhouses, if some things were useless to them, then there was no need to take them. Fong Ping continued to wander, taking away a few more treasures. At this moment, Venerable Thunder Emperor and Taoist Wind Cloud actually took away a single thing. Both of them were still competing with the few exhibition stands in the deepest part of the hall. Fong Ping and the others had also taken away most of the things one after another. This time, even Fong Ping did not fancy the remaining treasures, so he did not take them. The wooden sword that Hong Yu used in the past, forged from heavenly wood branches. Fong Ping glanced at it and ignored it directly. Heavenly wood was still alive, and it was much stronger than before. This wooden sword forged from branches was probably comparable to a rank 7 or 8 divine weapon. Fong Ping did not fancy it. Fong Ping also remembered some of the treasures that the others had taken away. There were none that were too strong. Most of them were of little value. The long spear that Ground Chi took away was probably the best. At this moment, everyone was also staring at the few exhibition stands in the deepest part of the hall. Taoist Wind Cloud and Venerable Thunder Emperor had occupied that area the moment they arrived. Until now, they had not taken away a single treasure. They also wanted to see what kind of treasure was worthy of the 2 Venerable Emperor's attention. Fong Ping did not go over to Taoist Wind Cloud's side. Instead, he went over to Venerable Thunder Emperor's side. Thunder did not care about them either, continuing with his own work. One-legged ox bone. Fong Ping took a look at the introduction and instantly understood why Venerable Thunder Emperor wanted to compete here. One-legged ox. Fong Ping knew about this. It was also known as the Thunder Beast. Venerable Thunder Emperor did not seem to have a divine weapon. In the exhibition stand in front of him, there was a bone from an unknown location. It was green in color, and the bone was like jade. There seemed to be lightning flashing on it. This thing did not need to be forged. Fong Ping felt that it was probably an emperor weapon, a natural emperor weapon. No, maybe it was even stronger. No wonder Venerable Thunder Emperor did not care about anything else and only cared about this. If he got his hands on this thing, his combat strength would increase significantly. Moreover, it looked like he could use it the moment he got it. Looking at Venerable Thunder Emperor's determined look, Fong Ping sensed for a while. The restriction was not weak. It seemed that the more precious something was, the stronger the protection. Or perhaps this bone had weathered and was deliberately made a little stronger. Looking at Venerable Thunder Emperor's appearance, he should be able to break the restriction very soon. Fong Ping strolled over to Taoist Wind Cloud's side. This time, he did not go near. This old man knew that he was Fong Ping. He had to be careful. Origin soil. Fong Ping was stunned for a moment. Just 3 words, an extremely simple introduction. On the exhibition stand, there was a jade box. The so-called origin soil was probably placed in the box. Fong Ping saw that Taoist Wind Cloud was also determined to get it. From a distance, he smiled and said, "Lord Protector, this origin soil." Taoist Wind Cloud glanced at him and did not say a word. On the other side, Venerable Thunder Emperor said thoughtfully, "Origin soil. That is, of course, the soil of the Source World. The Source World is a world between illusions. According to common sense, everything inside is illusory. However, it is said that when the first powerhouse who opened up the Tao opened up the Source World, he brought out some things from it. For example, origin soil, the first powerhouse who opened up the Tao." Fong Ping was dazed for a moment. Who opened it up? Was it not a sovereign? The things inside the Source World were indeed fake. Anyway, Fong Ping could not bring anything out from it except for origin chi. Origin Chi was not considered a physical substance. It was just a way of presenting power. Did the source world really have soil? It's just a rumor. Venerable Thunder Emperor smiled faintly. As for who was the first to open up the Tao, I'm not too sure either. He should have died a long time ago. That person should also be considered a beginner martial artist. We are actually all considered the inheritors of beginner martial artists. It's just that the Tao of origin has been passed down in all the martial arts paths. It has been perfected and perfected. The first powerhouse to open up the Tao of origin was, of course, also considered a beginner martial artist. This was also a completely different Tao that had been passed down for tens of thousands of years. After listening for a while, Fong Ping could not help but say, "Sir, then this origin soil," Venerable Thunder Emperor said lightly. "There is an ancient legend that when the source world fuses with origin soil, it can recreate the world, turning the source world into a real world. But reality proved that it was all fake. The origin soil was not necessarily the soil of the origin world. Perhaps it was just a kind of treasure. Someone had fused with it before. Its greatest use was to consolidate the source world. However, no matter how stable the source world is, it can't compare to the advancement of the great Tao. It's not trash, it's still a type of supreme treasure. It's just that it's not as mystical as the legends say." Fong Ping's gaze flickered. That was also a treasure. Many people in the source world did not attach much importance to the great Tao. However, Fong Ping still attached great importance to it. He did not expect Taoist Feng Yun to be fighting for this. What is this old man trying to do? He also wanted to consolidate his source world? Taoist Wind and Cloud said calmly, "That's not all. Stabilizing the origin world isn't a big deal. Its greatest use is to establish a pure land in the origin world. It was a real piece of soil. Of course, if that was all there was to it, it wouldn't be that useful. Origin Earth was extremely rare, and it wouldn't appear in large amounts. The real world it established was extremely small. However, at crucial moments, he could still protect one or two people. There was no place more mysterious and safer than a cultivator's origin world. If you hide someone anywhere, there's a chance they'll be discovered. If you hide them in your own origin world, then they might not be discovered by others. If you have parents, younger sisters, teachers, friends, when you encounter a disaster, you might be able to hide one or two people." When he said this, he was looking at Fong Ping. A cold glint flashed in the depths of Fong Ping's eyes. This fellow was talking to him, Fong Ping. At this moment, Taoist Wind and Cloud's voice rang in his mind. "I'm taking the origin Earth not because I need it. Do you want it?" Fong Ping said nothing. "In the future, when the great war of the three realms breaks down, where will your family hide, even though the world is big?" Fong Ping, you're not afraid. Are your relatives like you, unafraid too? Only by establishing a pure land in my own origin world will I be able to protect some people. In the past, do you know why so many people survived in Outland and the blessed Grotto Heaven? The war was so intense. Why didn't many people die? Is it really because Outland is powerful, the blessed Grotto Heaven is powerful? Not really. Some powerhouses have also obtained the origin Earth and established a small heaven and earth in their own origin world to protect these people. If you're injured and hibernating, these people will also sleep with you in the origin world and won't appear. If you're injured and hibernating for 10,000 years, 10,000 years later, the world will change. Your old friends will have long turned into white bones. Fong Ping looked at him and continued to maintain his silence. "I can give you the origin Earth. I'm alone in this world. I don't need the origin Earth. As for you, the only thing you need to do is to help me strip the Celestial Emperor's Tao. Of course, the origin Earth is not enough. But if I promise," Taoist Wind and Cloud paused for a moment. "What about promising to protect your human race from now on? Just like Heavenly King Garrison, he was originally not a human. Of course, I'm not as powerful as Heavenly King Garrison, but I've been an emperor for many years. After integrating the Tao of Celestial Emperor, I might be able to become a saint, a heavenly king. As for you, I think you might not care about other people's Tao." Moreover, you've just reached true God. You might not be able to integrate the Tao of Celestial Emperor. Help me once and exchange the protection of a saint or even a heavenly king for your human race. Is it not worth it? Fong Ping's eyes flickered. You have to know that this place is where the heavenly court is. If I really want to harm you, can you escape from the palm of my hand? Once people find out that you're Fong Ping, Thunder and the others won't let you go. Fong Ping's mentality fluctuated slightly. How can I believe that once you integrate the Tao of Celestial Emperor, you'll let me go? Who knows if you'll go back on your word? Finally, Fong Ping responded. Taoist Wind and Cloud was delighted. A response was a good thing. Don't worry, I've broken into the Kuan Palace this time and seized the Celestial Emperor's golden body. King Kuan won't let me go. And I also need a powerhouse to protect me. Heavenly King Garrison is enough to do it. The other heavenly kings might not fight against King Kuan for me. Moreover, I'm also worried that others will covet the Tao of Celestial Emperor. Although you humans are called devils, you're more trustworthy. For the future, for survival, I'll cooperate with you. That's the best choice. He did not say anything like a promise. These words were nonsense to powerhouses. He was analyzing the future for Fong Ping, analyzing the benefits, analyzing everything he would face in the future. No matter how he thought about it, if he wanted to find a powerhouse to cooperate with, the human race was indeed more reliable. Fong Ping pondered for a moment. After a while, he said, "We can cooperate, but to ensure my safety, I can't strip the Tao of Celestial Emperor for you here." Taoist Wind and Cloud was silent. Clearly, he did not believe Fong Ping. Did he have to go out? Fong Ping said again, "You don't have to go out either. Go to Heavenly Wood Forest. Heavenly Wood is mine, but Heavenly Wood's body can't be moved. We'll trade within a 100-mile radius of Heavenly Wood. I'll strip the Tao for you, and you let me go. This way, Heavenly Wood can't do anything to you, and you can attack me at any time. Within a 100-mile radius, Heavenly Wood's strength is definitely inferior to yours." Taoist Wind and Cloud said telepathically, "Heavenly Wood is indeed on your side." 10,000 feet above Heavenly Wood, Fong Ping thought for a while and said, "You'd better not know. It won't do you any good." Sure enough, Taoist Wind and Cloud did not ask anymore. He continued to break the restriction and soon said, "But if it's here, I'm no match for Thunder. Then I'll help Venerable Thunder Emperor. This is also the deal." Fong Ping's answer was straightforward. After all, it was impossible to strip it here. "If you're no match for him, then I'll go and help Venerable Thunder Emperor. This fellow will also agree." King Fong Ping, your reputation is well-deserved. Taoist Wind and Cloud sighed and said, "So be it 100 miles away." 100 miles away. Even a saint would not be able to do anything to him. If a saint attacked from 100 miles away, they might not be his match. As for Fong Ping, he was a powerhouse among the emperor ranks. Could Fong Ping escape from him? Moreover, cooperation might really be possible. This time, he had definitely offended King Kuan badly. If he did not find a powerhouse to protect him, he would not feel at ease. No matter how he thought about it, among the three realms, Heavenly King suppression was still more suitable. Of course, the current Taoist Wind and Cloud did not feel that the word cooperation was very harsh. Fong Ping, however, muttered in his heart. It seemed like those fellows who cooperated with him did not end up well. This fellow was really bold. 9 Heavens, Divine Emperor. Chapter 11:16. After negotiating with Taoist Wind Cloud, Venerable Emperor Thunder and Taoist Wind Cloud were about to break the restriction. Fong Ping hurriedly said, "You need to give me the origin soil later. Otherwise, I will be worried." Worried, Taoist Wind Cloud's tone was slightly deep. Was he worried that he would be defeated and die? Or was he planning to run after leaving the Kunwang Hall? Despite his guesses, Taoist Wind Cloud still agreed readily. Okay. He agreed readily. The origin soil sounded magical, but its use was really limited. What was the use of opening up a small piece of real soil in one's own source world? Hide a few people? Hide some things? It was not very meaningful anyway. So what if he gave it to Fong Ping? He had taken this to entice Fong Ping to prove his loyalty and to show his sincerity in cooperating with Fong Ping. A few minutes later, the restriction was broken. Both of them broke the restriction almost at the same time. Venerable Emperor Thunder was overjoyed and hurriedly took the one-legged ox bone in his hand. Suddenly, thunder appeared in the void and lightning flashed. Everyone's expression changed slightly. With this one-legged ox bone, Venerable Emperor Thunder had really become stronger, and Taoist Windcloud also took the jade box. The box contained the origin soil. He opened it and took a look. Everyone was a little surprised. This origin soil did not look like soil at all. It was clearly a crystal brick. It was not big, half the size of a normal brick. In fact, it was a rectangular block. Taoist Windcloud took a look, closed the box, and did not look again. Of course, he did not give it to Fong Ping at this time. At this moment, the treasure hall was almost ransacked. Everyone looked outside, looking at the main hall in the middle. The Thousand Spirit Hall was also the most important hall, where the Celestial Emperor's golden body was. Everyone was extremely nervous. Ground Wonder could not help but ask, "Lord Windcloud, has the Celestial Emperor really fallen?" He was a little scared. This was a supreme powerhouse ranked 14th in the three realms. In the past, they had seen it once from afar. That aura was incomparably powerful, almost tearing them apart. Fortunately, King Kunwang was still around, but how many years had it been? At that time, they had only caught a glimpse of it. Even if he did not fall, he will not be resurrected. Taoist Fengyan answered straightforwardly. If he could really come back to life, Cult Master wouldn't have been unprepared all these years. With that, Taoist Fengyan smiled. If you don't dare to go, then don't. Everyone's eyes flickered. They had already come to this point, yet they didn't dare to go. Taoist Fengyan continued. Heavenly Emperor Golden Body is incomparably powerful. Disregarding the Tao of a Heavenly Emperor, the flesh and blood of a Heavenly Emperor were all supreme treasures. One of its bones was definitely not inferior to the Kuei ox bone. Its flesh was even comparable to a saint-level supreme treasure. If we can observe the Celestial Thearch's golden body for a long time, maybe you and I can also forge our golden bodies to the level of Celestial Thearch. Taoist Wind and Cloud said with a smile, I won't lie. Let's all go in together. If there's any danger, you'll be the first to die, and I can take the chance to escape. So, I don't want you to leave now. Everyone was silent. If that's the case, then let's go in, Ground said after a moment of silence. Take a gamble. The golden body of the Heavenly Emperor. Who knew who would obtain it in the end? In the Thousand Spirit Palace. It was as quiet as ever. The golden statue was still standing there. The huge dog head was still looking at the sky. However, if one kept looking, they would notice that the mouth that was wide open earlier seemed to have closed slightly. The teeth that were glinting coldly were now almost indiscernible. The lantern-like eyes, at this moment, were less cold, not as sharp as before. At this moment, a faint sound came from outside the hall. Go in. Celestial Thearch's golden body is inside. Be careful. Celestial Thearch is incomparably powerful. His golden body is immortal. His chi can tear the void. You must be careful. A faint sound came from outside the hall. In the next moment, the hall door was opened. As soon as it opened, a few muffled groans were heard. Fong Ping's mouth was bleeding. His face was full of shock. He was actually injured by a dog's corpse. What did this mean? While he was shocked, he also saw the golden body of the Heavenly Hound. Although it was huge, Fong Ping had seen monsters that were even bigger than the Heavenly Hound. The Heavenly Hound's golden body was not considered big. It was only more than 10 meters tall. It was 3 to 4 stories tall, not even as big as a rank 9 monster plant. Some rank 9 monsters were even bigger than the Heavenly Hound. However, the key was not the size. At this moment, the Heavenly Hound in his eyes was incomparably huge, covering the sky and the sun. In his eyes, there was only the Heavenly Hound. Puff! Fong Ping's eyes exploded directly. He could not look directly at this golden body. Not only him, the others also groaned one after another. including ground chi. The two venerable emperors were slightly better, but the others, without exception, had their eyeballs burst one after another, blood splattering everywhere. It was too terrifying. It was the first time Fong Ping was injured by a powerhouse's chi to this extent. It was fine if he was alive, but the Heavenly Hound was dead. Whether it was really dead or fake, at this moment, the Heavenly Hound had no life aura. The Heavenly Hound was very strong. Its chi tore the void, but it was indeed missing something important: no life aura. Fong Ping's eyeballs recovered quickly, golden light flashing in his eyes. He looked at the Heavenly Hound again. Domineering. It was the same as the Heavenly Hound he saw the cat describe. No, more domineering. After all, that was only outlined by mentality, not the real body. At this moment, Fong Ping had no doubt that this was the Heavenly Hound. This was its golden body. It was so powerful that it was shocking. It was so domineering that it made people surrender. At this moment, Fong Ping had a vague urge to kneel down, worship it, submit to it. Humph! A muffled groan was heard. Beside Fong Ping, True Lord Earthfly's golden body suddenly cracked open, golden blood flowing. Powerful! True Lord Earthfly was shocked. He was a true god, after all, and a true god who had walked more than 4,000 meters of Tao. His strength was not considered weak, but he was still injured. Ground Chi was in a worse state than him. Ground Chi, who did not dare to use Tao, still had the golden body from before, but it was not very strong. At this moment, his flesh and blood exploded. How do I take this away? Ground Chi was also inexplicably shocked. How do I take such a powerful golden body away? Just as he was thinking about this problem, a figure flashed and disappeared, heading straight for the Heavenly Hound's golden body. The next moment, this figure flew backward at an even faster speed. Bang! Thunder Venerable Emperor flew backward, smashing into the basilica wall, causing the basilica to tremble. At this moment, Thunder Venerable Emperor's hands were covered in blood, his face full of shock. Fong Ping and the others saw a little. This guy just suddenly attacked, trying to grab the Heavenly Hound's golden body. Who knew that the closer he got, the stronger the aura, directly cutting his palm into a bloody mess. So strong. Thunder was also shocked. This was also ridiculously strong. He was a venerable emperor, but he could not even get close to a golden body. How could he fight for it? Everyone seemed to feel powerless for the first time. A venerable emperor could not even get close to the Heavenly Hound's corpse? If powerhouses like King Kuin did not restrain themselves and revealed their golden bodies normally, would they not even be able to get close? Fong Ping could not help but think of the time when he cut the Rose City Lord outside the void mausoleum grotto heaven. At that time, he was so powerless, not even able to cut the other party's golden body. At that time, he was rank 6, the other party rank 9. If a rank 9 powerhouse stood there for him to cut, he might not be able to kill the other party. This was weakling, and today, he felt this powerlessness again. While feeling powerless, he was also excited. I want to become stronger. I want to become as strong as the Heavenly Hound. No, stronger than it. The Heavenly Hound was so powerful, but it still fell in the Heavenly Cemetery. Even if it resurrected again, it would also fall that time. Fong Ping was still thinking when Taoist Feng Yun shouted, "The Celestial Emperor is too strong." Everyone, join forces and seal the Celestial Emperor's aura. As soon as he said that, the treasured mirror appeared, emitting intense light. Bang! The space exploded. The treasured mirror's light collided with the aura emitted by the Heavenly Hound, creating a crack in the void. Fourth heaven. Just the collision of auras broke the fourth heaven. Ground and the rest expressions changed. This was too dangerous. They might not even be able to get close to the Heavenly Hound's corpse, and they still wanted to snatch the treasure? Seal, quickly. Even if we can't last long, we can still get close. Taoist Feng Yun shouted again. At this time, Thunder Venerable Emperor also returned. He snorted coldly. His mentality erupted instantly, overwhelming the world. Join forces to seal the Celestial Emperor's golden body first. He also suffered a small loss earlier, and even embarrassed himself by being sent flying by the Celestial Emperor's corpse. When everyone heard that, their eyes flickered, and they all released their mentality. Let's seal it first. Even if it was broken soon, they could get close to the Heavenly Hound, unlike now, where it was difficult to even get close. Seal? Everyone shouted. In the hall, cracks filled the place. At the same time, the door of the hall opened, and the Heavenly Hound's aura also leaked. At this moment, underground, suddenly, a burst of aura erupted from the amber. Who? This aura, this Heavenly Hound. The last word was filled with extreme anger and resentment. Heavenly Hound. At this moment, the amber cracked. The golden bone wanted to come out. The aura of the Heavenly Hound. That damn dog, he sensed it. That disgusting dog smell. He did not know that the man and the dog had been neighbors for 3,000 years. He also did not know that the dog had stood in his palace for 3,000 years. Regardless of whether he knew or not, at this moment, the guardian of the spring was furious. He wanted to kill the dog. This dog had beaten him for 300 years. Those 300 years were unbearable times. Now, the first moment he woke up, he actually smelled the dog's scent again. He was furious. Why did this dog appear in his territory? I want to go out. Let me out. The amber could not crack. This was a restriction that he had melted all his strength into when he was in danger. It was not real amber. At his peak, he was also extremely powerful. Even after more than 8,000 years, the amber was still powerful. He was only at the initial stage of recovery. How could he break the amber so quickly? But he could not hold it in anymore. Let me out. I want to kill that dog. The Golden Bone's head was shouting and roaring. Get out quickly. He hated dogs. He would go crazy when he smelled a dog. At the same time, in the hall, the pupils of the huge golden dog seemed to change slightly. Very quickly, another image was reflected in his pupils. 6 people. 6 people were close to the golden body and were constantly releasing mentality, trying to seal the aura. The big dog did not change. Its body did not move, but its pupils seemed to spread a hint of contempt and disdain. The aura was still overflowing. At this moment, a person was reflected in the big dog's pupils again. Fong Ping. There seemed to be some doubt in the big dog's eyes. Something was wrong. Fong Ping, who was disguised as Yun Sheng, probably did not know that when he first met Tengu, Tengu already felt something was wrong. If he knew, Fong Ping would probably think more. This guy did not seem to be omnipotent. Cat. At this moment, the image in Tengu's eyes changed again. Behind Fong Ping, there was a cat that had been sleeping and snoring. Cat. People. Not only that, the image was still changing. There were more people. Behind Fong Ping, an illusion appeared. Tengu's pupils seemed to reflect the heavens. It saw a lot of people. The first person to appear was not a stranger. King Marshal Zhang Tao, a stranger. Tengu did not know him. The next moment, a somewhat familiar person appeared. He looked old and always had a smile on his face. King Subduing. Tengu did not pay much attention. However, in the next moment, the image in Tengu's pupils trembled. Another person appeared, carrying a blood-red longbow, his expression indifferent. Fight! In the next moment, an armored powerhouse appeared. Tyrant. Run. This was a vague consciousness. Run. He had to run. Celestial Emperor Batian. When he saw it, he wanted to smash its head. That year, during the final battle of the 3 realms, Celestial Emperor Batian's roar shook the sky. Where are you dogs? I'll smash your dog head. Terrifying. It hid for a long time with its tail between its legs. Not only that, very soon, another person appeared with a spear. Destroy. This was fine, but it was also terrifying. During that battle, Destroy was also there. Although he did not say anything, a dog that did not bark when it bit was more terrifying than Tyrant. It was not just these people. At this time, behind Fong Ping, another figure appeared. I don't know. Yes, Tengu did not know. Demon Emperor. The image in Tengu's pupils flashed and disappeared. Very soon, another illusion appeared. One illusion, somewhat illusory. Tengu did not recognize it. The second illusion was even more illusory. Still did not recognize it. The third illusion still did not recognize it. It was too illusory, almost indiscernible. Vaguely, some human shapes could be seen. The pupils continued to reflect Fong Ping. After a while, Fong Ping's figure dissipated. The second person appeared. It was none other than Feng Yun. At this moment, behind Daoist Feng Yun, there was also a huge figure floating. After the pupils reflected for a while, Daoist Feng Yun disappeared. As for the other four people, there was no reaction. The pupils no longer showed images. Fong Ping and the others, however, did not know what was happening. At this moment, they were all unleashing their mentality to seal Tengu's qi. 2 emperors and 4 true gods unleashed their mentality just to seal a corpse's qi. If word got out, no one would believe it. Be careful. Just as Fong Ping was also unleashing his mentality, true Lord Di Fei beside him was a little worried. He said telepathically, "Don't rush to the front. You and I should stay closer. Once the golden body is sealed later, I'm afraid they'll fight for it." Fong Ping frowned slightly. He did not say anything. After thinking for a while, he moved closer to Di Fei. "Don't expose the saint token in front of the 2 emperors." "Got it." "Be careful of Di Xing. He must have obtained some opportunity. He might be hiding his strength." Di Fei warned again and again, moving closer to Fong Ping. At this moment, everyone was still sealing Tengu's qi. The light on Taoist Feng Yun's treasure mirror was getting brighter. The one-legged ox bone in Thunder Emperor's hand was also getting brighter. They were about to succeed. At this moment, an unexpected scene happened. Fong Ping was still sealing when true Lord Di Fei suddenly unleashed his mentality. He struck with his palm, not at Fong Ping, but at the seal in front of him. Rumble! The seal was broken. At this moment, Tengu's qi overflowed. Fong Ping's golden body made a creaking sound. Not only that, in the next moment, Di Fei was furious. He had already struck Fong Ping's head with his palm. At this moment, this true god's qi exploded. He was furious. While he was angry, he was also inexplicably sad. "You killed my son. Why? You deserve to die. I've been cautious for thousands of years. My son slept for 2,000 years and almost never left Heavenly Clouds Island. You deserve to die. You deserve to die." Di Fei was extremely crazy. At this moment, he had broken Fong Ping's seal. Tengu's qi exploded and attacked Fong Ping. It was also attacking him, but he did not care. At this moment, his golden body was also cracking. However, he was frantically attacking Fong Ping toward Tengu. He wanted to kill this person who impersonated his son. He had been waiting for this opportunity for a long time. He knew that he might not be able to kill this impersonator. The other party was very strong. He might not be weaker than him. Even if he was weaker, it would be very difficult for him to kill him. Only at this moment, Tengu's qi was very strong. As long as he attacked this person to Tengu's side, Tengu's qi might be able to tear him apart. Even if it could not, he was still here. He had a chance to kill him. At this moment, Di Xing was stunned. Di Qi was stunned. The 2 Venerable Emperors and Venerable Thunder were also shocked and surprised. Venerable Feng Yun was not surprised. He just frowned slightly. Exposed. Fong Ping's identity had been discovered by Di Fei. This was a little troublesome. Fong Ping's face was gloomy. He did not say anything. While defending against Tengu's qi, he counterattacked and fought with Di Fei in the void. The 2 of them were getting closer and closer to Tengu's golden body. Fong Ping already felt that his golden body could not hold on much longer. Di Fei was even worse. Golden blood kept spurting and evaporating. But Di Fei was crazy. He wanted to perish together with Fong Ping. He wanted to kill this person with his own hands. He did not ask Di Qi and the others for help because he knew too well that these people were all mercenaries. As for whether they were cooperating with someone else or Yun Sheng, did it matter? They did not care. They might even leak the secret. Therefore, if he wanted to kill this person, this was the only time. Who was pretending to be his son? He did not know. He did not know much about Fong Ping. He had some vague guesses, but he did not want to think about it. No matter who it was, he would kill him. Are you crazy? Seeing that both of them were bleeding, Fong Ping yelled angrily. Lord Di Qi, two venerable emperors, stop him. He's crazy. I'm crazy. Di Fei was hysterical. He roared, yes, you're crazy. How dare you kill my only son? You deserve to die. Whoever stops me today, I won't stop until he's dead. Fong Ping was depressed. Di Fei was making things difficult for him at this time. This was a little troublesome. Beside him, Venerable Thunder's eyes flickered. Di Fei was crazy. Or was the Yunsheng in front of him really fake? Fake? Who was the imposter? At this moment, everyone had some vague thoughts in their minds. If Yunsheng was fake, then who could impersonate him so realistically? Fong Ping. In the three realms, unless it was someone much stronger than them, they might not be able to distinguish the aura. However, it was almost impossible to hide from them if their strength was equal or slightly weaker. Only Fong Ping. Venerable Thunder was a little excited. If Fong Ping, Celestial Emperor's golden body, was here, then what was the point of sealing? He could just strip his Tao. He had originally thought that even if he snatched the Celestial Emperor's golden body, it would not be easy. The seal would be broken soon. Once it was broken, Fengyan would definitely not let it go. If he went out, it might attract the attention of the three realms' powerhouses, and they would fight for it. However, if he did not want the golden body, as long as he had the Celestial Emperor's Tao, then it would be much simpler. He could find a place to integrate, hide for a few years, and when he came out, he might be a heavenly king. Venerable Thunder was excited. While he was excited, he could not help but glance at Fengyan. At this moment, Taoist Fengyan was calm and collected. No one knew how angry he was inside. His identity was exposed. Fong Ping's identity being exposed was not a good thing for him. Next, the fight for the Celestial Emperor's golden body and Fong Ping's fight would enter a heated stage. If it was Ground Oddity and the others, they might not fight to the death previously, but now, it was hard to say. Ground Fei had ruined his big plan. Everyone, why aren't you stopping him? Fong Ping roared again, blood spilling from his mouth. Ground Fei was really too crazy. The two of them were fighting under the cover of Tengu's chi. His injuries might be more serious than Fong Ping's, but Ground Fei did not care. He just wanted to kill him. Not only that, Fong Ping was a little helpless now. Ground Fei seemed to have a tendency to self-destruct. He wanted to blast Fong Ping to Tengu's side and self-destruct, triggering the Tengu's golden body's instinctive counterattack. This was an ability that all powerhouses had. Once they encountered an external attack, they would naturally counterattack. Tengu only had no vitality, but the golden body was still there, the vitality was still there, and the energy was still there. If he counterattacked passively, Fong Ping might really be killed. He had actually sensed something wrong with Ground Fei before, but he did not expect Ground Fei to attack at this moment. He felt that even if Ground Fei really knew, he would wait until after snatching the treasure or when he was injured. He did not expect this guy to attack now. Who dares to stop me? Ground Fei roared, his eyes blood red. Whoever stops me, I won't rest until I die. The other four people's eyes flickered. Ground Chi looked at the two venerable emperors, not saying a word, but his eyes flickered. What should he do? Kill? Not kill the fake Yunsheng. If his guess was right, then of course he had to kill Ground Fei. Yes, kill Ground Fei. At this moment, the few of them had the same thought. Kill Ground Fei. They could not let him continue fooling around. The bigger picture. As for what the bigger picture was, of course it was everyone's benefit, not Ground Fei's revenge. If Ground Fei did not die, there would be a lot of trouble. Thunder looked at Fengyan, and Fengyan looked at Ground Chi. They looked at each other. Very soon, Taoist Fengyan nodded slightly. Kill him. If Ground Fei did not die, he would keep looking for trouble. If he really killed Fong Ping, then the hope of stripping Heavenly Emperor's Tao would be gone. Unless they found the cat for help. Was it possible? If the cat knew that they wanted to strip Heavenly Dog's Tao, it would stab them to death. They reached a consensus almost instantly. Ground Fei could die, but Fong Ping could not. As for Ground Fei, he was on their side, and now he was avenging his son. That had nothing to do with them. Chapter 11:17. Rubble. The figure flew backward, blood spilling into the air. Why? Di Fei roared in grief and anger. He was attacked. Two venerable emperors attacked at the same time. No one spoke. Fong Ping was also trapped in the range of Tengu's aura, struggling to leave. Even if he was attacked by Di Fei, even if he felt that the cultists were all enemies, he could not help but feel a chill in his heart. This was a cult. Benefits, only benefits. Because Fong Ping was more important than Di Fei, they did not hesitate to attack Di Fei even though Fong Ping was an enemy and Di Fei was a comrade. In the air, Di Fei's blood splattered. Unwillingness, anger, sorrow. If there's a next life, I'll never be an immortal. Immortal. This was immortal. After the separation of human and immortal, Earth belonged to humans, and Di Fei and everyone else belonged to immortals. Today, this powerhouse who was proud of being an immortal regretted it. Immortal? This was immortal. As long as it didn't involve himself, he didn't think it was inappropriate for immortals to be heartless. But now, Di Fei regretted it. His son was killed, and the person who killed his son was right in front of him. He was their enemy. He wanted to avenge his son, but none of his colleagues or his superiors helped him. It was fine if they did not help him, but they wanted to kill him, just because the enemy was more important than him and could bring them benefits. Di Fei's roar shook the sky. He knew he could not survive. Two venerable emperors attacked. Di Qi and Di Xing looked on coldly. He was already seriously injured by Tengu's aura, so he had no chance of survival. The Great Way is heartless. Immortals are heartless. Humans are a demon. In my next life, I'm willing to be a demon. Ha! A hearty laugh rang through heaven and earth. Son, I'm here. The three realms should be destroyed. Rumble! A deafening roar rang out. Before Di Fei died, he did not attack Fong Ping anymore. Instead, he combined all his strength and blasted the restrictions set by them. Even if he could not take revenge, even if he could not stop them, he wanted to create trouble for everyone. Rumble! Tengu's aura was suppressed. At this moment, the restriction was completely broken and it counterattacked instantly. The stronger the suppression, the more powerful the counterattack. At this moment, Fong Ping's golden body erupted with dazzling rays of light, but it was still difficult to withstand. Even the ninth forging golden body could not withstand the Heavenly Hound's automatic counterattack, and the golden body continued to crumble. At this moment, Fong Ping could not care less anymore. The saint's token appeared and hung above his head, emitting a glow to protect him. The god-slaying saber appeared to block the pressure. Fong Ping quickly recovered his golden body too. Large amounts of imperishable substance gushed out. Even so, his flesh was still torn apart. The others, including the two venerable sovereigns, all retreated at this moment. As weak as Earth Xing, his flesh and blood almost instantly disappeared, leaving only his bones behind. Chi-Chi was not in a good state either. His flesh and blood were sliced away layer by layer. However, no one cared about this at the moment. They were all looking at Fong Ping. Venerable Emperor Thunder was pleasantly surprised and shocked. It was really Fong Ping. Ground Wonder sighed softly too. It was Fong Ping indeed. Fong Ping had snuck into the celestial court long ago. No wonder so many powerhouses had fallen in the past 2 days. As long as Fong Ping was around, there was never a time when no one would die. Di Xing's flesh and blood dissipated. His expression could not be seen, but at this moment, the skeleton's eyes also burst with dazzling divine light, looking at Fong Ping. Fong Ping really came. No one cared about Di Fei, who had self-destructed. Even at the last moment, Di Fei's tone was so unwilling and so miserable. But so what? The Great Tao was heartless. This was not the past. Back then, these cultivators still had feelings for each other. But 8,000 years had passed. The celestial realm had been destroyed for 8,000 years. They were almost at the end of their lives. They had been powerful for a lifetime, cultivated for 10,000 years, and now they were about to reach the end of their lives. Who would be willing? They had gone crazy long ago. These powerhouses who were about to reach the end of their lives. Except for a few, most of them had gone crazy. 8,000 years. 8,000 years had passed. The great Tao was blocked. There was no hope at all. What else could they do? Heaven and earth roared again. Outside the Earth King Hall, blood rained down. Defei had fallen. Woo-woo. At this moment, in the small world where the celestial court was located, there were even some mournful sobs. Too many powerhouses had died in 2 consecutive days. The great Tao had collapsed. Heaven and earth were dyed blood-red. At this moment, in the celestial court, everyone was nervous, sad, uneasy, and terrified another one had died. The true gods who were usually like gods were now falling one after another. When Fong Ping came, there were 3 emperors and 9 gods. Before Fong Ping left, there were 2 emperors and 2 gods. How many people could survive today? In the area where the small world was, the Forbidden Sea. At this moment, the sky above the sea was also blood-red. Many people had died, for heaven and earth, yesterday and today were not far apart. In the blink of an eye, the powerhouses who had fallen in 2 days could even be considered to have died at the same time. A venerable emperor and 7 true gods had died at the same time. At this moment, even the outside world was greatly affected. The void was reflected. The sky was falling, and the earth was cracking. Blood rain was dripping in the outside world. The blood cloud covered a radius of 100 miles. The next moment, several figures appeared. The crazy old man, who was also Ming Ting's true lord, appeared here in an instant. His eyes were solemn. How many people had died? Who was fighting? Where was it fighting? The celestial tomb? Would the dead people in the celestial tomb be reflected in the outside world? He did not know. Or the divine sect? But the divine sect was invincible in the 3 realms. How could so many powerhouses have died? He was a little frightened and uneasy. Since the powerhouses had left and entered the celestial tomb, not only did the 3 realms not stabilize, but there were more and more deaths. Powerhouses were dying one after another. That day, many true gods had died in the outer realm. Today, many more true gods had died. No, maybe there were even emperors. He seemed to have seen the sky fall and the earth crack. There was a big movement yesterday. Maybe the venerable emperor had died. How long had it been? It seemed that it had only been a month since the powerhouses entered the celestial tomb. Yes, it had only been a month. On March 23rd, Fong Ping launched a war in the outer realm, annihilating the 3 major realms. Fong Ping returned, recuperated for a few days, and entered the Forbidden Sea. Today, April 1st, it had been exactly a month since the powerhouses entered the celestial tomb. However, in this month, the world had been turned upside down. Perhaps even Zhang Tao, who had made the plan in the beginning, could not believe that not long after they entered the celestial tomb, Fong Ping had set off a storm of blood in the 3 realms. According to Zhang Tao's plan, they were prepared to trap the other party for a year or 2. However, only a month had passed, and the 3 realms had lost a venerable emperor and more than 10 true god powerhouses. Soon after Ming Ting's true lord arrived, someone else arrived. No, the demons. King Kuan came, King Crab came, and a few other ultimate darkness monsters also came. Not only that, but soon someone else arrived. Boundless Mountain, Immortal Inquiry Island. These overseas Immortal Islands powerhouses also arrived one after another. After a while, a Grandmaster arrived. Not long after, Wangwu and Weiyu Mountain powerhouses arrived. It was not over yet. The powerhouses of the catacombs, 4 majestic palaces, also arrived. Below the blood clouds, many powerhouses had gathered. Most of the known powerhouses of the 3 realms were here. It was not just these people. At this moment, Wu Quishan, who had stopped far away, did not dare to approach this place, but he had also arrived. Everyone looked at him. Ming Ting's true lord said coldly, "Where is the human king?" Wu Quishan smiled and said, "The 3 realms are in turmoil." Naturally, The human king cannot leave the human race easily. I came to take a look at the situation. I heard that powerhouses are rushing here. Did someone die again? As he said that, he looked at the sky full of blood rain and lamented. How many powerhouses have died? What a sin! After living for so many years, they died just like that. This 3 realms. Who knows how much blood rain will be seen in the future? Everyone ignored him. Wu Quishan smiled and did not mind. He had just advanced and naturally had no right to say anything in front of these people. He was not Fong Ping. Fong Ping had the right to say that because he was too ferocious. He killed Earthly Zhou, Earthly Wisdom, and the 3 major realms in succession. Otherwise, without such a battle record, others might not take him seriously. While everyone was still probing the void, a golden-horned demonic beast flew over and roared from afar. My lord, the bright Moon Island started a war without permission and created chaos in the sea of misery. They have been annihilated. Perfected Lord Ming Ting's mouth twitched slightly. Is the intelligence of the demon race so low? So what if they're destroyed? Can't you see that there are so many people here? Are you trying to cause trouble for me by coming to report at this time? If not for the fact that his subordinates were working and gathering information, he would have killed the Jiao right now. Indeed, the moment the Jiao said that the true gods of Boundless Mountain, Immortal Seeking Island, and the other places looked colder. How many of the overseas 33 immortal islands were left? Some forces that did not have a real god left behind to oversee them were almost annihilated. Now, another island was destroyed. This time, the departure of the powerhouses was a feast for the demons of Embittered Sea. The Jiao was also a glib talker. Coupled with perfected Lord Ming Ting's presence, many demons were bewitched by it. The demons under King Kun might not even be as many as the Jiao commanded. Tens of thousands of demon clan, regardless of the cost, forcibly attacked some immortal islands that had no experts presiding over them. Under the circumstances of heavy losses, several immortal islands had already been destroyed in these days. The Jiao did not come over. After reporting, it stood there and waited, as if waiting for the next instruction. Perfected Lord Ming Ting ignored it as well. He was in a bad mood and did not really like this stupid demon. Not far away, Wu Quishan's brow twitched. Jiao? The guy that Fong Ping called Demon Trader was here too. Since Fong Ping was rank 3, he had known this guy. Back then, this guy had only just entered rank 8. What about now? Right now, he felt that he was only 1 step away from the peak. This guy was the Demon King of the 7 Southern region, conferred by humans. He even lived in Magic City for a period of time. No matter how he looked at it, he did not look like a good demon. Wherever he went, he would be unlucky. No, wherever the demons were unlucky. That was not right. The guys on its side would be unlucky. Just like Fong Ping, they would be a disaster wherever they went. After not seeing him for a few days, he thought that the Jiao was dead. Now, not only was it not dead, it actually came to harm the Forbidden Sea. Wu Quishan thought in his heart and did not speak. At this moment, he was thinking whether this blood cloud had anything to do with Fong Ping. Fong Ping went to the Forbidden Sea and mentioned it to him, but he did not say the details. However, Fong Ping had only left for less than 2 days. The 3 realms were in chaos, and the blood cloud appeared above the Forbidden Sea. He would not believe that this had nothing to do with Fong Ping. Everyone, this blood cloud, is it a reflection of the divine sect or the sky grave? At this moment, perfected Lord Ming Ting did not care about the Jiao and asked. Everyone looked at each other. Soon, someone said, it should not be a reflection of the sky grave. Previously, there were true gods who died in the sky grave. Presumably, all parties have some clues. Which force's true god died, there are more or less some clues. There was no blood cloud before. As for the divine sect, everyone does not know much. I think it is very likely that it is a reflection of the divine sect. This place may be where the divine sect's headquarters is located. Someone nodded. This was true. Previously, there were people who died in the sky grave. Although everyone did not report it, they knew in their hearts that there were too many powerhouses there. There were many people who died in battle. However, there were no changes before, but now there were. Obviously, it had nothing to do with the sky grave. The small world where the sky grave was located was even more powerful. There was also a divine artifact sealing the door. It was very difficult to reflect it, unless a saint or even a heavenly king powerhouse had fallen. It was as difficult as ascending to heaven to want to reflect it. Divine sect. Everyone had a strange look in their eyes. Was the divine sect hidden in the void nearby? If so, should they attack the divine sect this time to take a look? Perfected Lord Ming-Ting looked at Wu Quishan again and said in a low voice, "Let the human king come here quickly to discuss important matters." If Fong Ping did not come, there might not be any benefits even if they attacked. Moreover, they did not want to be taken advantage of by humans. At this moment, King Huai, who was hiding in the void, sneered. "Human king?" Blood clouds appeared in this place. Something has happened to the divine sect. It may have nothing to do with Fong Ping. Maybe he has already killed his way into the divine sect and wants to take all the benefits for himself. King Huai, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Wu Quishan said lightly. If humans really had this kind of strength, they would be able to suppress the evil sect alone. They would have killed you a long time ago. Why are you making sarcastic remarks here? You are a slave of 3 families. Don't pour black water on me. Speaking of which, are you really Life King's man? Previously, when Heaven's Destiny Royal Court was in such a big mess, I didn't see you do anything. You should be considered a slave of 4 families now, right? As soon as he said this, King Huai's face became extremely gloomy. Everyone did not say anything. It was really hard to say who King Huai belonged to. Previously, in the battlefield of kings, he had betrayed Li Zhu and sided with Life King. In the end, when Heaven's Destiny Royal Court was in trouble, he did not say a word. What was going on with this guy, no one knew. Wu Quishan said sarcastically, then laughed and said, "King Huai, let's not talk about this. I'm a little curious. Is the Maple King dead? You 2 traitors, betraying one today, betraying the other tomorrow. You really have lived long enough. On Maple King's side, does anyone know if he is dead or alive?" King Huai snorted coldly and ignored him. How would he know if the Maple King was dead or not? The Maple King had followed the 2 kings into the heavenly cemetery. The Feng family members were either dead or crippled. The Maple King might not have left his life plate in the outside world. King Huai did not answer, but continued the previous topic. Then you asked Fong Ping to come here. If Fong Ping doesn't come, I have reason to suspect that he has entered the divine sect and taken all the benefits for himself. Everyone, why don't we join forces to take down the Snake King now to prevent him from meeting up with Fong Ping? This guy was also a troublemaker. Many of the wars between the catacombs and humans were started by him. However, this kind of person was not stupid. He knew that once the war started, it was very likely that he would be the first to die. Often, after stirring up a storm, he would quickly leave and not linger in the fight. In this way, he had survived until now. While everyone was talking, someone else came. A stranger. When this person came, Perfected Lord Ming-Ting's eyes revealed a strange look. Who was this person? He could not sense his aura clearly. He felt like a true god, but not quite. The others did not know him either. He was a very strange person. Perfected Lord Ming-Ting fell into deep thought. It felt a little familiar, but it should be very, very far away. He was also an old times level figure. His lifespan was about to run out. He had become a true god long before the heavenly court had fallen. Now he was not far from emperor, but his lifespan was about to run out. He felt that it was very far away. It was probably really very far away. The person who came was wearing a long robe, a golden robe. His face was slightly pale. He looked very young, but his eyes were extremely old. Ignoring Ming-Ting and the others, this person raised his head and looked at the blood clouds, then looked around, as if he was checking the divine sect's entrance. The others frowned, still trying to determine something. However, very soon, they did not have time to determine anything. At this moment, a figure cut through the void at an extremely fast speed. From afar, a wretched old man appeared. Then he saw the man in the golden robe and screamed, "Oh my God, another one. I can't stay in the three realms anymore." The moment he said that, he tore through the void and fled. The man in the golden robe frowned slightly and said indifferently, "Cat tree, interesting." As he said that, the void shattered and a woman in splendid clothes appeared. She glanced at the man in the golden robe and harumphed softly before continuing to chase after the cat tree. When the man saw that, he chuckled. "Fairy Yue, it's been many years. Are you leaving just like that? I don't have time to catch up with you. The cat tree belongs to me. If you dare interfere, I won't let you off." Although the woman left, her voice could still be heard. "Cat tree, the cat tree isn't yours." The man swept the void once more and seemed to have spotted the entrance. However, he could vaguely sense danger and did not enter. He stepped on the air and shattered the void, smiling. "What a pleasant surprise. I've just woken up and I've already encountered the cat tree. This source is empty and I need some nourishment. Let's go together." He tore through the void. However, in the distance, someone cursed out loud, "Nourishment? You guys are bullying me. I have a backer supporting me. Emperor Sky is still around. Try eating me if you dare. I'm warning you, don't mess around. Stop chasing." "Still chasing? Do you guys know that Prince Yu is also awakened? We were just chatting happily 2 days ago. If you keep chasing, I'll call for help." "Again? So, what if you were a saint back then? Now that you've just awakened, you're at most at the overlord level." "What's an overlord level?" "Back then, when overlords came to the cat palace, they were just servants." "Get lost. Stop chasing. If you keep chasing, I'll really call for help. Emperor Sky, save me. Someone wants to eat me." "Emperor Sky, where are you? Come and save me. I've saved a lot of fruits over the years, waiting for you to eat them. If you don't come, they'll all be eaten." The cat tree howled mournfully. Today was really unlucky. First, it encountered Fairy Yu Wei of the North Emperor's faction. Then, it turned around and encountered the Realm Gate Marshal of the Human Emperor's faction. Were the people of the 9 Emperors all going to awaken? The cat tree frantically fled. It was a treasure. No, a treasure tree. The cat tree was a famous treasure tree in the 3 realms. The cat fruits it bore could repair the source world. For experts who had just awakened, it was more effective than any treasure. Few experts could directly recover to their peak after awakening, unless they had made preparations back then. However, most of them were clearly accidental recoveries. Under such circumstances, the cat tree's appearance would naturally attract the attention of those people. As for the cat, where was the cat? The cat tree ran away. In the crowd, on Mount Wangwu's side, Qing Hua's expression changed. She could not help but whisper, "Sage Yue." The moment she said that, everyone looked towards her. Perfected Lord Ming Ting raised his brows slightly. Soon, he said darkly, "Sage Yue, that golden-robed, Realm Gate Marshal Yuan Gang?" Qing Hua remained silent. Ling Xiao, who had already recovered to her peak strength, revealed a joyful expression. "Sage Yue." She seemed to have heard her master mention before that he was an expert under the North Emperor's faction. The 36 sages were the official positions of the Heavenly Courts. They were appointed by the Heavenly Courts and commanded the Heavenly Realms Army. However, when the Emperor preached the Tao back then, there were also some disciples. Not only that, the Emperor had his own system as well. The Human Emperor governed the human world while the Earth Emperor governed the Earth realm. The fact that these people could govern a world represented their strength. Even among the emperors, they were slightly stronger. Even if they were in charge of a world in name, they had their own team. Back then, there were realm gates between the human domain and the earth domain that were guarded by experts. They did not allow experts from the human domain to enter the human domain or the heaven and the earth domain to enter the human domain. This was what these emperors were doing. The golden-robed man was the Realm Gate Marshal who guarded one of the realm gates back then. Everyone was surprised and shocked that these people had appeared. Those who knew them had grim expressions at that moment. What was going on with the 3 realms? As for Ling Xiao, she quickly sent a voice transmission to Qing Hua. "Uncle Master, Sage Yue has revived." Then, "Our Wanwu, don't contact her without permission." Hua was not as optimistic and said quickly, "These people have revived. His Majesty North Emperor is dead, and Her Highness is not around. Nobody knows what they are thinking. Don't let your guard down. Sage Yue is His Majesty's disciple. But now, 8,000 years have passed, and the world has changed. Will she still be the same as before?" Ling Zhao's expression changed slightly. That was true. Would someone who had died once continue to be the same as before? It was fine if Moon Spirit was here, but if she wasn't, no one would be able to suppress her. For a moment, everyone had a myriad of thoughts. Some had a headache, some felt helpless, and some secretly had some thoughts. Since an expert had appeared in the three realms once again, the current situation might change. Divine Sect, Overseas, Earth Realm, the human world. Previously, they could be roughly divided into four forces, but now, there might be a chance for a few more forces to appear. Star Town. In the small world, the God Creation Envoy continued to flip through the book in his hand and said impatiently, "Why are you here again? Someone has revived. None of my business." The God Creation Envoy said impatiently, "Hurry up and scram. This old man has already figured out how to cut the human body into millions of pieces and then recombine them. Perhaps I can forge a beginner martial jade body. Don't bother me, or I will use the jade body to destroy you." With that said, countless God Creation envoys suddenly appeared in the small world. Some were reading, some were practicing martial arts, some were sparring, some were cursing in the street. At the entrance to the world, the shadow trembled slightly. Are you really going to succeed?" He had thought that this old fellow was just casually talking about it. But who knew that he would actually succeed? "Not yet. Almost. I keep feeling like there's something missing. Send me some more books. Besides, after I open them, they won't be original and won't be solid enough. This old man is considering whether or not I should forge my golden body into a divine artifact embryo." The God Creation Envoy's words made the shadow speechless. What great boldness! Was he going to forge a divine artifact with his own body? After thinking for a while, the shadow said, "You will come out sooner or later. The experts of the three realms have begun to recover, and those who should appear will appear. You are the main participant in the Immortal Origin Project. So even if you don't want to leave the mountain, there will still be people who will force you to leave the mountain." As he spoke, he added, "You know how to forge divine artifacts, and you are the only expert in the three realms who can forge divine artifacts. Once the chaos arrives, divine artifacts will definitely be the target of all the experts. You won't be able to avoid it." The God Creation Envoy said impatiently, "Scram. This old man is a prisoner suppressed by Li Xuanxie. Let me go out of the mountain and kill Li Xuanxie. Before I kill him, stop talking nonsense." The shadow was silent. After a while, he suddenly said, "God Creation Envoy, in this three realms, who is the strongest? Who is the strongest?" The God Creation Envoy seemed to be interested as well. After a moment of silence, he laughed and said, "In the past, of course, it was the 9 emperors and 4 emperors, but now, it's hard to say. I'm afraid there are still a few who are still alive or have recovered. If you haven't broken through 8, then don't have any ideas about this old man." Break 8. With a murmur, the shadow dissipated. After he left, the God Creation Envoy snorted, "So what if you break 8? Just you wait. Wait for this old man to create 108,000 clones and block the Great Tao. I'll let you guys lose your source energy and see if you guys can still be so arrogant. No, this old man's clone isn't strong enough. Forge 108,000 divine artifacts? There's no material. How about kill 108,000 experts and stuff them into the Great Tao to block the way? How annoying. The 9 emperors are unreliable. Back then, we might as well block the Great Tao from the source. These fellows who rely on the source, won't they all cry?" The old man muttered a few words, shook his head, and continued reading. "Forget it. Isn't Li Xuanxie still here? I am a prisoner now. If you have the ability, kill Li Xuanxie first." In the next moment, the old man's body trembled slightly, and he muttered, "Troubled times, who has awakened again? This old man can sense it even after lighting up the origin world. Looks like something is really going to happen. Chapter 11:18. An expert had awakened. It lit up the source world. At this moment, there were quite a few people who could sense it. This was a true awakening, and also the strongest powerhouse currently awakening, the Heavenly King stage. A Heavenly King stage powerhouse. In the Thousand Spirit Hall, Di Fei was dead. Fong Ping and the others were still resisting the outburst of qi. However, in the next moment, their hearts shook. Even Fong Ping could sense it now. It was very weak, but there was. He seemed to see the source world shaking. In the sky above the source world, a star flashed. Who is it? At that moment, Dao, being wind and cloud, was shocked, and even terrified. He immediately turned to look at Tengu. Was it Tengu? If the Heavenly Hound were to revive, it would be a disaster. Fortunately, after a while, Taoist Feng Yun heaved a sigh of relief. It didn't seem to be the Heavenly Hound. As for Fong Ping, he did not have the time to look at the Heavenly Hound now. He was about to be crushed. The Heavenly Hound's qi activity was really powerful, so powerful that he felt a little helpless. However, at the same time when the stars flashed, Tengu's qi activity seemed to fluctuate a little. Fong Ping managed to struggle out, his face covered in golden blood. Someone has awakened. At this moment, the Thunder Overlord was also frowning. Quintessence turbulence. Is this a Heavenly King powerhouse? It should be, Emperor Thunderbolt said in a low voice. A Heavenly King has awakened. I wonder if he's one of the 8 kings or a disciple of an emperor. Are there any Heavenly King stage powerhouses amongst the Emperor's followers? Thunder Sovereign didn't know much about this, so he couldn't help but ask. Taoist Feng Yin thought for a moment and said, I'm not sure. Even if there was, it would be before the 8 kings. When the 8 kings were conferred, it was said that almost all the Heavenly King stage powerhouses showed up. He wasn't too clear about these things, as he hadn't experienced the era of the 8 kings. At this moment, he suddenly looked at Fong Ping, no longer concerned about who would revive. Thunder and the others also looked at him. Di Qi said with a faint smile, Fong Ping, how audacious. He actually managed to enter the divine court. Fong Ping glanced at them. Panting, he smiled. If I told you I'm not Fong Ping, would you believe me? Everyone looked at him, but no one said anything. This is not funny. You've already taken out your god-slaying saber, and you're still saying that you're not Fong Ping? Do you really think that everyone is blind? Fong Ping avoided them slightly and sighed. Then, if I say that I came here this time just to admire the scenery here, you guys won't believe me, right? Venerable Emperor Thunder said coldly. Fong Ping, at this point, saying these things isn't funny. It will only make people look down on you. That's true. Fong Ping smiled. He straightened his back and smiled faintly. It's me. As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping restored his true appearance. I've been calling for my father for a couple of days, and I've killed a venerable sovereign and a few true gods. I feel like I've suffered a loss. Emperor Thunder's aura erupted, pressuring Fong Ping, his eyes cold and fierce. Fong Ping, do you think that no one can kill you? Or no one dares to kill you? Fong Ping was too flamboyant. The first thing he did after recovering his true form was to provoke them. Fong Ping's golden body erupted, laughing. That won't be the case. With 2 venerable sovereigns here, I might not even be able to defeat Di Qi, let alone venerable sovereigns. No, we have to include Di Xing. Di Xing probably gained a lot of benefits in the Origin Realm, right? Fong Ping smiled playfully and said, if you want to kill me, of course it's easy. But why is there a need to fight and kill? You guys haven't made a move yet and even killed Di Fei. I'm sure everyone knows why. Everyone was silent. Fong Ping glanced at Heavenly Hound's golden body. This time, he did not go closer. He said softly, guys, let's not beat around the bush. I have the ability to strip away Daos. Seeing that his identity had been exposed, Taoist Feng Yun was no longer conflicted. He chuckled. Since there aren't many left alive, Fong Ping, if you want to live, then start working. Otherwise, Fong Ping pressed his hands together, looking unhurried. He chuckled. Celestial Emperor is different from others. He's a powerhouse. He's not that simple. Also, whether Celestial Emperor is alive or dead, it's hard to say now. To be honest, I'm definitely wary of powerhouses like this. So, if you really want to use me, you have to first confirm that Celestial Emperor is dead, and then Daos are still there. What do you want? I don't want to. Fong Ping said calmly. Peel off the Celestial Emperor's skin and bones first. Just leave his brain and heart cores. As he said this, he suddenly felt a chill in his heart. What's wrong with me? Why did he suddenly have a bad feeling, as if a great disaster was imminent? Fong Ping's heart trembled. This sense of crisis made him feel as if his origin world was about to freeze. What was going on? Could it be that the Heavenly Hound was still alive? The old cat had said that if the Heavenly Hound's corpse was present, it was highly likely that the Heavenly Hound was not dead. However, until now, Fong Ping had not sensed that the Heavenly Hound was still alive. Also, who was the expert who had just awakened? Could it be the Ash Cat's captain protecting the cat? It shouldn't be the Heavenly Hound. He tried to sense it, but the Heavenly Hound didn't seem to be moving. At this moment, Fong Ping could not help but glance at the Tengu from the corner of his eyes. Could it be that the Tengu was still alive? Speaking of skinning and dismantling, he actually felt an incomparably great danger, as if he was going to die in the next moment. Fong Ping stared at the golden body of the heavenly dog for a while, but he did not notice any changes. Was he thinking too much? Or could it be that the Heavenly Hound had not actually awakened yet, but it was still alive, able to hear what he said but unable to respond? The Heavenly Hound had stayed in the Earth King's Hall for 3,000 years. Fong Ping suspected that the Heavenly Hound was really too badly injured and had no choice but to hibernate. Otherwise, based on the personality of the Heavenly Hound mentioned by the Ash Cat and the others, it was impossible for it to stand here and let people study it for 3,000 years. This was not in line with the Heavenly Hound's domineering personality. During the Battle of the Heavenly Cemetery back then, the Heavenly Hound might have really been annihilated. Its corpse was taken away. All these years, it has been looking for a chance to resurrect? And now, it might be resurrected? Fong Ping guessed in his heart. Now that many people were resurrecting, it was not impossible for the Heavenly Hound to resurrect at this time. Fong Ping dared not talk nonsense anymore. He was afraid that the Heavenly Hound would really come back to life later and swallow him in one bite. This dog had really eaten powerhouses before. When that time came, even if he had a lot to say, it would be too late. When Fong Ping thought of this, he suddenly said, "There's one more thing. Although my relationship with Old Cat is very good, and Old Cat has also taught me these things, but if I say this in advance, I might not be able to do it. Celestial Emperor is too powerful. Old Cat knows a lot of things, but not everyone can learn anything. I haven't learned much either. Old Cat and Celestial Emperor are still brothers." When Celestial Emperor is mentioned, he often washes his face with tears. If this matter of mine were to spread, Old Cat would definitely come after me to settle the score. So, everyone looked at him, frowning. Why did this guy have so much nonsense to say? At this juncture, he was trying to change the topic. What was he trying to say? Fong Ping continued, "So, you guys should first confirm whether Celestial Emperor has really fallen. Then I can make the next arrangements. If Celestial Emperor is still alive, do I need to make any deals with you guys?" Fong Ping said with a disdainful look, "If Celestial Emperor is really alive, I'm Old Cat's brother, so I'm Celestial Emperor's brother too. Just let Celestial Emperor do it. He can just kill all of you with one slap. Am I right?" Everyone was speechless. This guy was still threatening them at this time, but they had to admit that it made some sense. If Celestial Emperor was really not dead, then it would be none of their business. Taoist Feng Yun smiled faintly. Celestial Emperor has most likely fallen. Otherwise, sect leader wouldn't have placed Celestial Emperor here for 3,000 years. Even if he isn't, I'm afraid he won't be able to revive. Leaving behind a last chance of survival is no different from falling. Thunder Venerable Emperor also nodded slightly, then said somewhat impatiently, "Fong Ping, cut the crap. Since you dared to come, then do it. Otherwise, don't be impatient. Fong Ping touched the sweat on his forehead. This time, Thunder and the others were surprised. You're a king of man. How can you be so timid? Fong Ping could not help but wipe his sweat. He felt that Tengu might really be alive. Just now, he had been paying attention to Tengu from the corner of his eye. He seemed to have noticed that Tengu's mouth had closed slightly. Very little. The extent of closing was almost invisible. But he had been observing. Fong Ping felt that he was not mistaken. Tengu had really closed its mouth a little. Fong Ping swallowed. At this moment, his mentality fluctuated and went straight to Tengu. But as soon as his mentality reached it, it was shattered. Fong Ping was helpless. He could not even communicate with this. Was this guy alive or dead? Forget it. Fong Ping said hurriedly. All right, cut the crap. Seal Celestial Emperor's chief first. He's too powerful. If this goes on, we'll be worn down to death. I don't care which one of you got the Celestial Emperor golden body. If you're stronger than me, then I'll make a move. If you're weaker than me, for example, earthly god, then don't even think about it. Who wins depends on the situation. Everyone here is smart and capable. If you can prevent me from escaping, then of course I won't die. But if you can't do it, then don't blame me for not keeping my promise. There's no such thing as a promise. Although this sounded harsh, it was also the truth. Without strength, how could Fong Ping possibly be obedient? However, at this moment, Earthly Oddity suddenly said, Fong Ping is very cunning. Sirs, why don't you cripple him first? When it's time to use him, then let him recover. Otherwise, this kind of person will not be willing to be used by us. As soon as this was said, the few of them were ready to move. If they did not cripple Fong Ping, they would not be at ease. At most, when it was time to use him, they would help him recover. When powerhouses reach this stage, they would not die so easily. That won't be necessary, right? Fong Ping said with a smile, if I really don't have strength when you guys snatch the Celestial Emperor golden body later, you'll definitely fight it out. If this affects me and kills me, then I'll feel so wronged. Also, you guys better pray. I keep feeling that Celestial Emperor is still alive. Celestial Emperor is so powerful. Brother Cat often said that Celestial Emperor dared to fight the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors back then. How could he die so easily? I have to save some strength and be prepared not to be affected. As Fong Ping said this, he looked at Heavenly Hound again. There was more sweat on his forehead. This dog's mouth seemed to have closed a little more than before. Was he really alive? Big Cat, oh Big Cat, I've already gotten involved with you. I won't be eaten, right? As he said this, the others also looked at Heavenly Hound, frowning. Was Fong Ping trying to scare them? If Celestial Emperor was not dead, he would have swallowed them long ago. Why would he give them the chance to snatch the golden body here? Taoist Feng Yun frowned. Then he said quickly, Fong Ping, you don't have to say these things anymore. If you don't want to be crippled, then work together. Don't even think about escaping this place. Seal the Celestial Emperor golden body together. Sir, why don't we let him hand over the god-slaying saber and saint token first? At this moment, Ground Fiend spoke up. He said with a faint smile, he has the god-slaying saber and the ability to slash Daos. I'm afraid the deaths of Dark Earth and a few others were also caused by him. When we seal the Celestial Emperor golden body, we have to be careful of him suddenly plotting against us. Taoist Feng Yun's eyes flickered, looking at Fong Ping. Indeed, Fong Ping, I won't cripple you. Hand over the god-slaying saber and saint token. A divine weapon and a sacred weapon. These were all treasures. If he had the divine weapon in hand, he also had the ability to slash Daos. If he fought against same-ranked opponents, he would have a great advantage. Once he entered the origin space to fight, the advantage would be even more obvious. Are you sure? Fong Ping said, the god-slaying saber isn't mine. It's Cat's. Cat lent it to me to use. Whoever takes it will be unlucky. Cat can't do anything to you now. It has no backing. After the Celestial Emperor fell, anyone can bully it and want to kill it. It has no one to rely on. Everyone frowned again. What was he trying to say? Was he stalling for time? Fong Ping ignored them and continued, but there will always be a time to settle accounts. Now that you've bullied Cat like this, aren't you afraid that one day the Celestial Emperor or others will come back and settle accounts with you? Also, the god-slaying saber is Cat's. That means it belongs to the Celestial Emperor. Are you trying to snatch Celestial Emperor's things? Enough! Venerable Emperor Thunder shouted angrily. Shut up! Who do you want to tell? Tell Celestial Emperor? Dream on! Celestial Emperor died a long time ago. If he's not dead, do you think you can still get close to this place? Idiot! Hand over the god-slaying saber and Saint Token, or we'll come and take it ourselves. Fong Ping glanced at the Heavenly Hound again. It did not seem to have changed much. Fong Ping was about to retract his gaze when he was shocked. He had been looking at the Heavenly Hound's mouth, head, body. He had not looked at the Heavenly Hound's eyes. The Heavenly Hound's eyes were terrifying. One look, and Fong Ping's own eyes felt like they were going to explode. However, at this moment, Fong Ping seemed to have seen something in his peripheral vision. Fong Ping endured the pain and glanced at it again. This time, he was sure that he had really seen something. At this moment, in those huge eyes, a cold glint flashed, and a figure disappeared in a flash. Venerable Emperor Thunder. Its eyes were actually reflecting the Venerable Emperor Thunder. Fong Ping closed his eyes immediately, hiding the scene of his eyeball exploding. At this moment, Fong Ping seemed to be hesitating, but he quickly roared in his mind, Big Cat, come out. The Heavenly Hound is alive. It's really alive. It looks like it wants to eat me. Come out quickly. Magic City. The cat looked up at the sky. Beside him, Fong Yuan was brushing its fur again. The cat sighed suddenly. Humans and demons, there's nothing good about them. What's wrong? Fong Yuan looked curious. This cat could be so sentimental? The cat said mournfully, Your family is a liar. When you're in danger, you call for me for help. When there's no danger, you're free and unfettered. The tree that I planted is the same. It's been running for thousands of years. Usually, it doesn't think about me. Today, it's thinking about me with all its might because someone wants to eat it. The cat was so sad. These people were so realistic. Forget about the liar. Cat trees were really annoying. Usually, it did not dare to think about itself. Today, it was endless. It kept thinking about it. Someone wanted to eat it. How quick? The cat really wanted to poke it to death. When I was hungry, I missed you. Why didn't you send me food? Fong Yuan's little face turned round with laughter. Yes, they're all bad people. I'm different. Big Cat, why don't you let me become a great emperor? I'll help you beat up the bad guys in the future. The cat rolled its eyes. None of them were good. It could not be bothered with Fong Yuan. Was the big dog really alive? The cat was a little surprised. Was it for real? Was there really a big dog hidden in Hong Kuen's house? Hong Kuen was too bold. How dare he hide a big dog in his house? Did he still want his house? In the next moment, the cat appeared in Fong Ping's mind. The big dog really came back to life? It's true, Fong Ping said hurriedly. Can you see it? It's right beside me. I can't see it. This is a phone call, not a video call. The cat was disdainful. They were just talking on the phone, not a video call. How could I see it? Fong Ping did not waste any more words. In an instant, he outlined the Heavenly Hound's appearance in his mind. The cat stared at it for a while, scratching its head with its claws. It looks a little like a big dog. The big dog really didn't die. You don't seem too excited. Fong Ping had a bad feeling about this. The cat said indifferently, No, I'm very happy. But when the big dog left that year, it said that I lied to it many times, causing it to be beaten up often. The next time it comes back, it will definitely beat me up. Now, I'm thinking if I should find a place to hide. Fong Ping felt terrible all over. What did it mean? Was the Heavenly Hound going crazy because of being the scapegoat? Was it going to beat this cat to death? Fong Ping had just used the cat to pull some strings for a long time. Would he be caught in the crossfire? Don't worry, don't worry. The cat said carelessly, It's okay. The big dog will bite you at most. It might not kill you. But I don't think I sense the big dog's recovery. but I think I sensed the big bad guy you were talking about coming back to life just now. I hope it's not at your place, or else, you're going to be in trouble. Fong Ping said hurriedly. It can't be. Who knows? The cat was very irresponsible, saying casually, the big dog is at his house now, and he's been beaten by the big dog for many years. If he sees the big dog, he'll definitely explode. Run, liar, run quickly. Run as far as you can. If they fight, they won't care about you. They won't care about anyone else when they fight. If you're killed casually, there's nothing you can do. Brother Cat, I can't run. There are 2 venerable emperors watching me. Come and pick me up. I'm not going. I can't fly. I'm so hungry. The cat was extremely irresponsible, muttering, I'm a cat, not a human. Humans are the ones who pick people up. Cats stay at home and wait for food. Which cat goes out to pick people up? Fong Ping was so depressed he was about to vomit blood. You're a cat now? When you eat, you don't look like a cat. You look like a pig. No, even a pig can't eat as much as you. You scolded me. The cat felt wronged. A liar scolded him. Without giving Fong Ping a chance to speak, the cat disappeared in the next moment. Before leaving, he said, if both of them come out, don't try to pull strings. Otherwise, the other one will beat you to death. If that doesn't work, just say you're the child of a spirit emperor's relative and a puppy. The cat disappeared. Fong Ping did not come out no matter how much he shouted. Fong Ping almost vomited blood. What did he say? That he was the descendant of a puppy and a spirit emperor's relative? Are you sure it's reliable? Are you sure a descendant of the heavenly dog could have a descendant of a spirit emperor's relative? The spring guardian and the heavenly dog are actually going to revive? No, the spring guardian has already revived. Don't tell me he's here too. At this moment, Fong Ping was trembling with fear. 2 heavenly king powerhouses. He had seen the heavenly kings fighting before. No, he had only seen the heavenly King Garrison and King Sun fighting in the space rift. He had not seen the specific battle. He did not know how these people fought and how big the repercussions were. However, he remembered that the heavenly King Garrison casually grabbed a true god that day and threw him out. Then there was no then. That guy was so unlucky that he was blown up. There was no need to mention how tragic his death was. In just a short while, they did not even fight with all their might. In the end, a true god died just like that. If the heavenly dog and the spring guardian were to fight, would he not be blown up if he was slightly affected? He was still thinking about this when Thunder was already extremely impatient. He shouted, Fong Ping, don't think about getting lucky. Quickly hand over the divine weapon and the saint's token. At this moment, the basilica seemed to tremble slightly. Fong Ping's expression was ugly. Hand over? Hand over your sister. Trouble. Could it be that the spring guardian was here? He sensed it. The others also sensed it. Feng Yun and Thunder looked at the ground one after another, frowning slightly. What happened? At this moment, Fong Ping broke into a run. As he ran, he shouted, I'm with you guys. I'm the descendant of Er's ancestor. I'm also the Heavenly Emperor's descendant friend. Fong Ping did not even dare to mention the cat. The spring guardian and the cat did not seem to be very friendly. The cat did not do anything after receiving the benefits. With a roar, Fong Ping fled frantically. It was over. Big trouble. At this moment, Thunder Overlord and Taoist Feng Yun were at a loss at first. They wanted to chase after Fong Ping, but in the next moment, it turned into horror. Just as Fong Ping fled, heaven and earth trembled. An angry roar resounded through heaven and earth. Heavenly dog, you bastard. I'll skin you alive this time. 300 years of humiliation. I'll return it today. At the same time, an aura that pierced through heaven and earth rose from nothing, filling the entire small world in an instant. All the energy in the entire small world surged toward this side in a frenzy. At this moment, 10,000 feet above skyward forest, King Kun cursed angrily, almost bursting with anger. This guy was actually still alive? Big trouble. Heavenly Wood also shuddered. This guy was actually still alive? He was an old neighbor. However, this guy was in a bad mood now. Would he be affected? No, at this moment, Heavenly Wood was stunned. He looked at King Kun's clone. Heavenly Dog is alive? King Kuan seemed to know what it meant. He said coldly, "It's dead, but its golden body hasn't been destroyed. Maybe there's a chance of survival. Damn it, if no one stimulates it, it won't revive. This guy has revived. Powerhouses stimulated it. Enemies stimulated it. He knew that Heavenly Dog was not completely dead. If it was completely dead, its golden body would probably be destroyed. However, he also knew that without absolute stimulation, Heavenly Dog could not revive. However, now an idiot was provoking Heavenly Dog. He wanted revenge. He wanted to destroy Heavenly Dog. It was over. King Kuan's face was full of despair. It was really over. Damn it. If the main body did not return, something big would happen. Chapter 11:19. Boom! The sky was broken. Today it was truly earth-shattering. A top-notch expert from the ancient times had awakened. The divine city was collapsing. The furious roar resounded not only in the small world, but even the people in the outside world could vaguely hear it. At this moment, they were all incomparably terrified. In the sky above the taboo sea, an illusory figure that resembled a real fiend god appeared. It pierced through the small world. It's him. In the distance, someone was shocked. The Spring Keeper has awakened. He's actually not dead. The Realm Gate Marshal, who had left earlier, exclaimed. The big shot had revived. No matter how the Ash Cat slandered him, a powerhouse who dared to compete with the Heavenly Dog and a powerhouse who dared to peep at the Spiritual Emperor were the real big shots. Beaten by the Heavenly Dog, beaten by the Spirit Emperor, deceived by the old cat. That was because of his ability. If you don't have the strength, you won't be able to touch this world. The Spring Watcher had awakened. At this moment, the entire three realms were in turmoil. Heavenly King Stage. This was already a ceiling. From the ancient times until now, there were only a few Heavenly King Stage powerhouses. Almost all the living Heavenly Kings came from the ancient times, except for the Demon Emperor. But the ancient Heavenly Kings also had qualifications. When the person guarding the spring became a Heavenly King, King Kuan had yet to become a Heavenly King. The 8 kings had not been conferred their titles yet. They were experts from the same era as the 3 envoys. Of course, this fellow was eventually forgotten by others. Due to the passage of time, as well as the fact that he had been guarding the longevity spring, people had slowly forgotten that he was a Heavenly King Stage powerhouse. Coupled with the fact that the caretaker had always wanted revenge, he had always been studying his reciprocity realm, so he had no time to show off his strength. However, there were people who would never forget him. They had forgotten about this top-notch expert of the past. That guy has recovered. At this moment, the others also sensed it in the fake heavenly grave. The Heavenly Kings had awakened. The source world was illuminated. This was the first Heavenly King to be revived, a true revival in the truest sense of the word. The other cat protectors had yet to be completely revived. As for Hong Yu, perhaps he had the combat power of a Heavenly King, but he was not a Heavenly King. Some things were more complicated. At this moment, even if King Kuan forced himself to remain calm, he could no longer remain calm. That fellow had just been resurrected not too long ago. It couldn't be in his own nest, right? If it was revived in the divine city, it would be troublesome. King Kuan's face was extremely gloomy. At this moment, almost all the experts felt it. Within the source world, a great star that was as resplendent as a star was ignited. On the great star, an ancient fiend god revived, its radiance radiating in all directions, shaking the 3 realms. I'm back! An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Tiango, that bastard, I will hack it to death sooner or later. Where was the Spirit Emperor? Who killed Emperor Ling? Who did it? At this moment, the god fiend in the source world was roaring angrily. At this moment, the weak couldn't hear any of this. In fact, their source world hadn't even condensed a god fiend projection. As for the powerhouses and emperors, almost all of them had condensed a fiend god projection. At this moment, there were fiend gods awakening on many stars that were as bright as stars. On a large golden planet, King Kuin's projection appeared. He looked into the distance without saying a word. Above a large red star, the phantom of the moon's spirit appeared and frowned slightly. On a great white planet, King Qian crossed his arms and did not say anything. On another planet that was as blue as water, an enormous Kuin Peng phantom appeared. It was the sea-suppressing envoy. These large stars were extremely far away, so far that they could not be seen. Among these large stars, there were some stars of various sizes. Some were as small as glass balls, and some were as large as planets. The Source World. The Source World was the most unique. It was dreamy and illusory, with no end or size. Once one stepped out of the origin Tao, they would appear in the Source World. Some stars were shattered, and some were dim. They seemed close, but without special means, they could never reach the other side. Just like the origin Tao, people who walked two paths would never meet on the origin Tao, unless they had reached the end. The Spring Guardian was furious because he saw the destruction of the Spirit Emperor's star. 10,000 years ago, in the Source World, there were 13 stars that shone brightly. 10,000 years ago, there were 13 large stars that illuminated the entire Source World. But today, they were gone. In the sky, there were no longer any large stars shining on the Source World. No one spoke. The Spring Guardian's large star gradually became less dazzling. The moment it had awakened, it had reflected the entire Source World. Now that it had awakened, it would gradually return to the right track. Next time, this fellow would not be able to continue shining on the Source World. And at this moment, everyone looked into the distance. Over there seemed to be a burst of faint golden light. Woof! A low roar resounded throughout the Source World. Woof woof! Ha! The Three Realms has no emperor. The Three Realms has no limit. Ha ha! Only the Heavenly Hound is invincible in the Three Realms. Bathtub Keeper, you're alive. Ha ha! Thank you for lending this king a helping hand. I'm alive. Hong Kuin, how dare you? Your father is alive, and you're going to die. Devour. This devour was earth-shattering, and its aura swallowed thousands of miles. At this moment, a hurricane was set off in the Source World. At this moment, only a huge mouth could be seen between heaven and earth, swallowing King Kuin on the large golden star from an unknown distance. At this moment, only the Heavenly Hound was left between heaven and earth. The boundlessly domineering Heavenly Hound. It wanted to devour King Kuin's large star in the Source World and destroy his Source World. On the large golden star, King Kuin did not say a word. He did not resist, nor did he attack. The Heavenly Hound wanted to devour him in the Source World. However, King Kuin's expression was still ugly. The Heavenly Hound had revived. Half of his 8,000 years of plan had been destroyed. Perhaps it would all be destroyed soon. The Divine Court. He did not say anything about going back. The Heavenly Hound and the Spring Guardian might be waiting for him at the Divine Court. If he went back with his current strength, he might be able to suppress these two guys who had just revived, but what about next? Could he kill these two guys? It would be very difficult. Coupled with the Heavenly King subduing and the others, he might really be surrounded and killed. In the void, the huge mouth extended, swallowing the heavens and earth. King Kuin watched coldly and did not speak. The Heavenly Hound had also revived. But even if it had revived, so what? It was a pity that his plan was ruined. All these years, he had been trying to find the Heavenly Hound Great Tao and wanted to strip it of its Great Tao, but this guy had hidden it too well. He could not even find the Gate of Reflection. Now, it seemed that this guy had probably completely destroyed the Great Tao, leaving only a wisp of Source Chi, which was why he had hidden it so well. The huge dog's mouth was still extending in this direction, but gradually, it looked like it was going to dissipate. However, at this moment, a scene that no one expected happened. In the void, in the uninhabited Source Void, a big fat cat wandered in the Source World, holding a huge fishing rod in its claws. It panted and said, "Big dog, long time no see. Don't hit me. I'm going to help you." As soon as it said that, a path suddenly appeared in front of the dog's mouth. The cat threw the fishing rod, and it turned into a path that directly connected to King Kuin's planet. Huh! The heavenly hound laughed wildly, and the big cat also chuckled. Under the heavens, cats and dogs are invincible. If I say I'll bite you, I'll bite you. At this moment, King Kuin's expression changed, and he roared. Like a reincarnated god, he punched out, and heaven and earth shattered. But it was useless. The huge dog's mouth followed the path formed by the fishing rod and instantly arrived, swallowing him. I'll swallow you. Crack, a faint sound was heard, and more than half of King Kuin's fist was directly swallowed. Then, the heavenly hound closed its mouth and used all its strength to bite down. Bang! The sound of an explosion was heard, and the godlike King Kuin lost an arm. The heavenly hound did not feel good either. Its huge mouth was broken, but it still laughed wildly. King Kuin's face was livid, and a lot of the source chi on his body overflowed. He said coldly, "You can be arrogant for now." The heavenly hound only had such an ability at this moment. It had recovered. At the moment of recovery, its source chi erupted, and it could roam in the source world. At other times, it could not do so. Haha, I'll bite you to death, you dog. Bah, I'll bite you to death, you human. The heavenly hound laughed wildly. At this moment, in the nearby area, a figure suddenly flashed on a huge planet that was not as bright as them, but was also rapidly becoming stronger. A figure that looked like a demon king flashed and said with a smile, "He's not a human. The human clan will not accept him." The heavenly hound revealed a puzzled look, as if it had thought of something. It seemed to have seen this person before. It was the person that appeared behind the person in the main hall. The new person was none other than Zhang Tao. As soon as he appeared, many dazzling aurora-like gazes shot over from the void. King Wu. Was he going to transform? This was the domain of a heavenly king. But at this moment, King Wu actually appeared here. Of course, no one cared about the ash cat. It was an anomaly. It could roam the source world as long as it paid a certain price. This was also because its great Tao was special, and it had known this since ancient times. However, the ash cat was weak. Even if it could roam the source world, it would not be of much use. If it had the strength of the heavenly hound, it would be terrifying if it could roam the source world. The heavenly king powerhouses only paid attention to Zhang Tao. At this time, few people noticed that the ash cat was using its claws to rub the big dog's head, its face full of joy. The big dog's head was already breaking, and now it was being rubbed even faster. After rubbing for a while, the ash cat watched the big dog's head shatter and dissipate. Suddenly, it roared in the void, "I, the ash cat, am coming back. Let the three realms tremble. Big dog, captain, fake human emperor, big liar. Come quickly. I want to eat a big fish head, the big fish of suppressing sea. Quickly give me your big fish head. Wakaka. Ha, I'm not sleeping anymore." The ash cat laughed so hard that its fat body was trembling. Under the dumbfounded gazes of the heavenly kings, it went straight to Guardian Sea. It stuck out its tongue and stared at the big fish head for a while. Its claws gestured, as if it was measuring where to cut it. Then, under Guardian Sea's murderous gaze, it quickly retracted its fishing rod, grinned from ear to ear, and instantly disappeared from the source world. Guardian Sea almost vomited blood. This cat was so arrogant, damn it. It was actually measuring its own fish head. Fish head my ass. I'm a Kuan Peng. How can I have a fish head? The three realms was going to be in chaos. At this moment, everyone had the same feeling. The heavenly hound was coming back to life. The chief steward of the cat palace was coming back to life. King Wu was going to become a heavenly king. The spring guardian was coming back to life. And the ash cat was not sleeping anymore. It was going to cause trouble. If the three realms was not in chaos, when would it be? And this was not the end. King Wu showed his face and was about to leave soon. However, at this moment, another phantom shot through the void and laughed. Hong Kuan, how dare you provoke the heavenly hound? The heavenly hound has a close relationship with me. Brother heavenly hound, I'll help you get rid of this guy. On the other side, the heavenly hound could no longer be projected over. The phantom stood proudly on the big planet, glanced over, and snorted in its heart. Who has a close relationship with you? It knew this guy. He was not a good guy back then. He did not have much of an impression of him. The only thing that left a deep impression was that he once went to rob with the ash cat and was robbed on the way. It should be this old guy. The ash cat probably did not remember because it did not have much contact with him, but it did come into contact with him a few times later. After the collapse of the heavenly realm, the heavenly hound met him several times in the three realms. This old guy was trying to trick people again. No, it was a dog trap. The heavenly hound snorted coldly and ignored it. In fact, it could no longer project the voice transmission. Its explosive period was over. As for these people, they were close to each other, so they could communicate like this. The heavenly hound ignored him and looked at the guy not far from it. You want to fight? Sure, I'll fight you to the end. I've beaten you up for 300 years, and you still won't admit defeat. Today, I'll beat you to death, shameless bastard. How dare you peep? It's fine if you peep, but you still want to report me. Back then, I told you not to snatch the spot, but you insisted on snatching it. It's just a small space. If you snatch it, how can I look? If I report you, you should just admit defeat, but you still want to report me. This is a big feud. Guard of the bathhouse, come. Let's fight for 3,000 years. I'll wait for you. The guard of the spring was also furious. Alive? It's good that you're alive. I'll blow up your dog head. I'll take revenge for what happened back then today. I went first, and you, a dog, dared to peep at my dream lover. I haven't settled this score with you yet. A man and a dog, in the blink of an eye, disappeared from the source world. At the same time, everything that happened in the source world happened almost instantaneously. At this moment, Fong Ping and the others felt immense pressure. Just as the guard of the spring roared, the Earth King Hall suddenly trembled violently. At this moment, the heavenly hound, who had been standing still, erupted with a dazzling brilliance on its golden body. Screams were heard. It was not the heavenly hound that was screaming. It was Fong Ping and the others, including the two emperors. Powerful energy swept in all directions. Fong Ping and the others were not screaming because of this, but because this dog was shamelessly stripping and robbing their energy. It wanted to revive. However, the energy here was limited. Previously, the guard of the spring had taken away most of it, and now there was not much left. But the heavenly hound did not have energy. Although the golden body was powerful, how could it fight a powerhouse like the guard of the spring without energy? Therefore, it began to rob their energy. The heavenly hound was the master of devouring energy. At this moment, it unleashed its full power. Fong Ping and the others could not help but scream. It was too domineering. Their energy was stripped. Not only energy, but also imperishable substances. This dog was really unscrupulous. No matter who you are, you can talk after you've eaten your fill. Roar! The heavenly hound did not bark like in the source world. Instead, it let out a domineering howl. It howled at the sky, domineering, shameless. I'll beat you up today. Bastard beast. Let's see who's going to beat who up. The two powerhouses had not yet met, but they were already fighting through the air machine. Explosions erupted and exploded. In the shocked eyes of Fong Ping and the others, the Kunwang Hall was originally sealed. At this moment, the top was shattered, revealing the sky. This was the main material for forging holy weapons. However, this was not enough. Forget the main material. Even the holy weapons could be broken by both of them. At this moment, the heavenly hound seemed to feel that it did not have enough energy. Suddenly, it opened its mouth wide and sucked toward the Thunder Emperor. Yes, suck. Just like how Jiao dealt with those martial artists in the past. It ate their energy and not humans. This was because, in its eyes, these weaklings were too weak. The golden body was instead impurities. The Thunder Emperor's expression changed drastically. With a roar, he broke through the air and fled. This time, he gave it his all. The void shattered. Fong Ping saw fourth heaven shattering. Fifth heaven was also shaking. The Thunder Emperor was running with all his might. The Heavenly Hound had revived. Not only the Heavenly Hound, no one expected that there was still a peerless powerhouse in Heavenly Court who had also revived at this time. I am a subordinate of the Kunwang Hall. The Thunder Emperor roared as he ran. He wanted to say a few words, but the Heavenly Hound did not listen to him. Once it did, its voice suddenly sounded like thunder, shaking heaven and earth. It said angrily, "Hong Kuan, you're courting death. When this emperor blows this guy up, I'll settle the score with Hong Kuan." As soon as the words fell, Fong Ping and the others felt a tornado blowing in this place. It was not just a tornado. Fong Ping felt that his energy was out of control. His vitality was constantly overflowing, flying toward the Heavenly Hound. Fong Ping and the others were still affected. Over there, the Thunder Emperor was the main target. At this moment, the Thunder Emperor roared loudly, energy overflowing from his body. Not only that, his flesh and blood were disintegrating, turning into energy, surging into the Heavenly Hound's mouth. At this moment, a figure appeared in the void, shaking heaven and earth, shattering the void. However, at this time, the Spring Guardian who appeared did not stop the Heavenly Hound. He said coldly, "So what if I let you recover? The difference in strength between you and me is not that big." Just as he said that, the next moment, this guy suddenly went crazy. Without a word, he punched the Heavenly Hound. The Heavenly Hound laughed maniacally. "Idiot! Idiot! This emperor didn't die back then. This emperor has broken through 8 of his peak. Haha, ultimate powerhouse." It was only at this moment that Fong Ping and the others reacted. The Spring Guardian seemed to have died earlier. When he was destroyed, the celestial realm had only fallen, and the Heavenly Hound had lived 5,000 years longer than him. In these 5,000 years, the Heavenly Hound had broken through 7 to 8, becoming a true ultimate powerhouse. As for the Spring Guardian, he did not seem to realize this just now. At this moment, he seemed to have sensed something unusual and hurriedly made a move. Fong Ping and the others were thinking. In the next second, Fong Ping grabbed Taoist Wind Cloud's escaping figure, hanging behind him, roaring, "Run, speed up, run." Taoist Wind Cloud's face turned green, but he dared not stay. Those two guys were fighting. If they did not run, they would be dead meat. He did not dare to compete with Fong Ping, afraid that if he delayed, none of them would be able to escape. He ran away frantically, his speed unparalleled. Behind him, Ground Oddity and Ground Xing could not care less about hiding their strength. Each of them ran no slower than an emperor. At this moment, they were really crazy. It was over. As for the Thunder Emperor, God knew how long he could last. There was no need to guess. Just as the Spring Guardian's fist blasted down, the Heavenly Hound swiped its paw. The moment the man and the dog came into contact, the void shattered. Sixth heaven, a deep black 6-petal lotus appeared and began to overflow instantly. The Thunder Emperor, who had just been sucked dry, now had despair in his eyes. No, sixth heaven, that was not a realm he could resist. Breaking sixth heaven, close to 10 million cal vitality outburst. Even if these two had not recovered to their peak, the aftermath of their fight was not something he could resist. The Thunder Emperor was almost begging, "Feng Yun, take me, take me." He did not want to die. He did not want to die in such a useless way. However, in front of him, Taoist Wind Cloud did not even turn his head. Fong Ping, who was hanging on him, did. When he saw the black 6-petal lotus spreading toward him, he was scared out of his wits, frantically transferring energy to Taoist Wind Cloud. "Run faster. Damn it. Why was this venerable emperor so useless? He was running so slowly, waiting for death." A low, inaudible tremor was heard. At this moment, the Thunder Emperor had almost no strength to resist and was instantly crushed into pieces. A thunder bone exploded. The Heavenly Hound glanced at it, and the bone fell into its paw. He did not have a weapon, so he had to make do with this and beat this shameless guy to death first. Boom! The great path collapsed. The venerable emperor had fallen. However, Fong Ping did not see blood rain this time. At this moment, The two powerhouses seemed to be dissatisfied with being disturbed. One man and one dog. They attacked the sky at the same time. In the void, the blood cloud was directly turned into nothingness by the man and the dog. That old thing, earthly sovereign, is so disgusting. He just had to make it bloody. Collapse my A**s. If a small path collapses, then so be it. Boring. This was the heavenly hound scolding. On the other side, the spring guardian also scolded. Is this old thing disgusting? All right. Is he really dead? If he's not dead, don't drag me into this. How would I know? How dare you talk back? I'll beat you up. The spring guardian flew into a rage for no reason. The heavenly hound dared to fool him. He would beat this dog to death first. Taking advantage of the fact that both sides had just awakened and their strengths were about the same, if he did not beat it to death now, where would he go to seek revenge against the heavenly hound who had broken 8? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.